Hello, Star Wars CCG players, fans, and folks who just want to hang out on a Monday night with me and Carl. Garrett Larson here, Dead Body on Slack and the forums and everywhere else Star Wars that matters. Bringing you some GEMPC Top 8 action with my guest co-host, Carl Koenig. How's it going today, Carl? Looks like Carl may have just lost stream there for a second. So we will see when Carl gets back up. Oh, I think Carl
I'm
might be
back.
back. There we go. Carl's back.
I'm back.
So how's it going tonight, man?
It's going great. Happy to be here watching some really, really top level Star Wars CCG, and it looks like the game has started.
It has, and we've got Chris Gogolen versus Brad Kippel in the top 8 for the GEMPC, and we see in chat Gogolen congratulating Brad Kippel, who's made top 8 or better in all 3 events that were going on this month. The Retro GEMPC, we did just see Brad get knocked out of the top 4 by Pat Johnson, our friend.
Mm-hmm.
This is the top 8 of the regular GEMPC, and Brad, I believe, was the number 1 seed or finished first in the charity event this month. So he's on a tear. And I mean, dude's an amazing player. And if you're playing in an online event, Brad's going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, Brad is someone who he does not make mistakes. He plays a lot of decks that I think play from behind a little bit, given some of the decks because he likes Diplo. He's played No Idea. He's just someone that I think will get to a certain point, and I think he might be one of the best players at Life Force 15 and below
Yeah, at
because I think
managing
he.
that limited resources and knowing,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is what I can do. He does that very, very well. And speaking of No Idea, that is what he played against Chris Gogolen playing TTO. So
And
go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say, we got a shout out to streaming tonight for you and me, Kevin, because I can't ever remember Goglin's real name, so I just make up new ones.
Seems
Um,
reasonable. I got some friends that we call by the opposite names just because.
yeah.
But
So we see EOPS, and we do know it's TTO because he's starting operational as planned. So
yeah. And he told me it was TTO in private when I asked what side was going first. So,
yeah, but I was trying
but
to put it out there for anyone following along.
this is the first round of the top 8. So
Uh-huh.
these lists are not yet public. They will be made public after these games are all played. So we've got this
Yeah.
game going on. There's a possibility, and I'm not going to be able to check it right now, but I know Greg Shaw and Ryan Jelson are looking at getting their games in soon.
Hmm.
MHT and Timo are, I believe, playing Tuesday and Wednesday in the United States afternoon. I want to say they're at like 3 o'clock Eastern. So I don't know what's going on who's going to be able to stream it on Tuesday. I'm not sure. I can. I believe I'm going to try and cover Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then I
Eh,
think Tuesday night is Werfs and Jeff
Jack. Yep.
Treadwell. And I believe I'm going to be streaming that as well. So I'm going to be busy covering a lot of
I mean,
games.
but you're so good at it. And I mean, thanks for letting me co-pilot with you here tonight. It seems, let's see, Gogolin did his normal start. He pulled
Yep.
ominous rumors and
That's
he
about
shuffled his
all
deck.
he's grabbed so far. Yeah,
I
he
Well, he
grabbed
hasn't
ominous
played
rumors.
ominous rumors, so he hasn't gone the Endor Shield pull yet.
Yeah, and
But if
that's
you
sort
have
of
ominous,
so. I think
okay,
he's just figuring out what order he wants to be putting everything out in.
yeah,
So, and there he's getting the bunker pull for
yeah,
Endar Shield. Like he went and grabbed Ominous, so he knows what's there.
yep.
He knows what's in his force pile, but with Ominous, it takes that weird card, and we see somebody saying Ominous doesn't work in TTO, it gets shut down at some point, but I believe it works at the start.
Mm-hmm.
Taco Bell, yeah, one of the sectors shuts it down later, but you're using it really as just a grab. Honestly, probably like Baron.
Yeah.
You grab Baron or Saber One just so you can have it as a quickie, and it functions like a pullable Tarkin's Bounty. Like, yeah, I remember there because there's a sector that also shuts down Talon Roll,
Mm-hmm.
and another one that shuts down like occupations. So
A fun fact, I've never actually blown up either Death Star. I've not really lived playing Star Wars CCG. I've never done it.
I mean, it is something you've missed, but and you and I were talking about this a little bit before. The first time Worlds was in Minnesota, I I played TTO, and I went 4-0 with it, including a game where my Death Star was blown up.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Gem, who longtime players definitely know, and one of the founders of the KTOD, and now a spectacular unlimited player and streamer, blew up two Death Star 2s in a row and lost both games.
Ouch.
And yeah, it was. I mean, it was a really good deck at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just hard. Like you were eating a ton of damage by the time you could get in and blow it up. And then it's like, okay, well, I lose 20, but you haven't really caused me any damage, and I guess I'll peel 20 and then drain you for 12.
So we just call
And
that walkers now.
yeah, you know, so
Gogolen
it
deployed
was
the Death Star
gruesome.
2 and drew up to 14 and passed.
Yeah. And yeah, combat response also shuts down Talon Roll, but you can't Talon Roll in the sector if memory serves. I thought one of the sectors
Yeah.
might shut it down as well.
One of my most
So
embarrassing moments was trying to go in and blow up the Death Star and forgetting that you had to draw. I saved one. I knew
the
it was a
movement
track
destiny.
7, and I forgot the movement destiny. So, I died. It was sad.
Logan, I don't know if someone's ever blown up both Death Stars in a game and lost. You would have to be playing MBO to make that happen. And I think with MBO, if you manage to blow up the Death Star, you're pretty much guaranteed to win that game. Like once you blow up the Death Star, that game is all over but the crying.
Yep. And we,
So Brad just put out a sight and drew some. Chris activated, used short range fighters to go grab a ship, and Brad grabbed it. I think that's a solid grab.
yeah, especially with Brad's play, he's got to hold Scarif, so he wants to make sure that this sand sticks around and he doesn't want Slave One spinning through it.
Yep,
But we,
and we see Gogolen grabbed Vader's personal shuttle. That's actually a real good card in this because normally you're kind of comfortable, at least theoretically, throwing Moff Jerjerrod at the bunker.
mm-hmm,
But certainly against No Idea, you can't do that. So there we
right.
see Vader on the shuttle with his Moffy co-pilot, uh,
And
and Ozzel as a passenger.
better hope nobody reacts to there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Brad's really got any reacts going on.
No,
So
no, I just said it for the lulls.
yeah, that's
So interestingly enough, this Vader is one of Kendall Holman's favorite versions of Vader, as we very, very badly ranked all of the Dark Jedi one night. It was a bad list. I'm sorry I was on it. Plus, I messed it up at the end. So we see the capacitors come out, or at least taken a hand
yep, taken into hand. He can't deploy them
until next turn. Yeah.
until next turn. Like that No Idea start really did slow Chris down a turn.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Sam, you're right. Light Maker and Gold Leader and Gold One could be important. The thing is, I do think you're running a you're Chris is probably running at least one SFS cannon, which makes Gold Leader
Cute.
go away. Like Gold Leader's maneuver 4, if you're adding 3 to it, you ain't missing. Like,
I mean,
so,
so Brad could be running Antilles maneuvers. He could be running.
and he probably is, but even those are still, I mean, maneuver 4,
Yeah.
and I'm adding 3 to the draw. Even if I'm, okay, I'm adding 2 instead, like,
So
you're
we
still
do
very
see
likely going to hit it.
we see Rogue One and Ray come down to Scarif, and we see the card I would associate with Brad Kippel more than any, and Weather Vane come down. So he's going to be turning that vein,
I really don't like that Rogue One play. Um,
and
Simply
we see.
because Chris has got a full hand. If he's got something to handle a potential barrier, Rogue One
Mm,
has no immunity.
um,
It's immune to attrition while piloted by a rebel
right.
or at an opponent's system.
I mean,
Rogue One is sitting there naked, which
I could see
worries
Brad
me.
move Jin over to the beach and maybe land, but that seems like a bad tempo play. I agree with you.
Yeah,
This could be.
I think he might have to, and he might just leave Jin at the data vault and land
Mhm,
Rogue One anyways. And I could see that. It might have just been he's got to throw Rogue One up there
mhm.
for the flip. And,
We see Jin move over.
well, he didn't even need to throw it up there to flip because flip if you control 2 Scarif locations. He could have just
Yeah,
gone to, like,
he's saving one. He's screaming barrier, but you're right. If Gogolen has a blast door control or really any barrier canceller, this could be
yeah,
bad.
this could be.
I mean, I doubt overflow because I mean Ray covers 7. I
You
mean,
might not take overflow, but like what you really want is Rogue One up there piloted by Wedge
mhm,
and another rebel, and you just go, well, I'm fully immune and I, you know, can get anything.
yeah.
Antilles maneuver. I mean, Webb still costs 2, doesn't he? Or is there?
No,
Oh no,
he
he's
deploys
-1.
-1. So
Yeah, and that might be the play.
Bodhi could
Like,
go on there for free.
and Bill saying doesn't expect there's a barrier canceller in a space stack. I would not be shocked. Oh, Chris made a mistake there too. He used Moff Jerjerrod after he activated and then missed.
Missed.
So Moff
Yeah.
Jerjerrod isn't any time.
Hmm.
So you would want to just do him before you activate anything.
I wonder if that's just like a muscle memory play because most people like they're sequencing with Dex, and if you don't play it, because TTO hasn't been, and this isn't a
Yeah,
knock
but
on Chris. It's just one of those things. Like maybe in the heat of the moment you forget.
and Bill is saying maybe it wasn't a mistake. He was looking to see if he had a match in there. I mean, he hasn't used his indoor shield pulls yet. He could have activated. He could have done the Jerjerrod pull and then
You
use
could also
indoor
check with his
operations.
EOPS. Check to that to see if for the other.
Like there are ways he could have gotten that without running through that. We see him pay 3 to drain for 2 at Endor. So that kind of tells me he's not going at him in space. Like he
And
does.
we see sabotage go off the top and the indoor commando team from hand.
Yeah, like he doesn't necessarily have enough force after using that to really go after space.
Hmm.
So, oh, well, okay. Well, there's 3 sectors and that thing's operational. So apparently he didn't care. Yeah, so at Death Star 2 locations, you may not Talon roll. Is the first sector. The second one is you can add a Battle Destiny. And the third one is Ominous Rumors is suspended. So Chris is
Yeah,
not going to get his Ominous Rumors use at all, which,
it's a Destiny 5.
yeah, it feels like a bad grab.
I
Although
mean,
it makes a lot more sense why Chris didn't. Chris is too good of a player to just made that mistake with Jerjerrod, so that makes a lot more sense. Is he already knew what he had? He just wanted to see what his matching ships were, and then decide
He chose to
What is
use
he doing?
that option so that way we could sit here and judge him like we do when we stream some of these. And, he says, no, no, I didn't need that. I knew what was going on. It's fine.
Yeah, it's very possible we're just being
Yeah.
Judgy McJudgerson, and that's what we're doing.
So
And Chris
Vader
moves
Vader
Vader
flew
there.
over, which is interesting.
Well, he's getting two Destiny there now.
Right. It's mostly that it's going to be fully immune as soon as they play anyone.
Yeah, but you're drawing two Destiny, you're subtracting two from one of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Jerdrod, who is now forfeit fodder,
Mm-hmm. And
and
Ozzel.
you're doing TTO damage.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's the play because, yeah, it's while it orbits a system you occupy. So you
Yeah. So
say, you can't overflow me here, which means next turn you're going to eat some TTO damage, and I'm going to reinforce with guys.
yeah, I mean,
Because, like,
Chris is gonna Chris is gonna eat some damage here himself because he's gonna move Jin over to the vault, and
so it'd be
Chris
two,
gonna
four,
eat five.
five. Yep. And there's not much Chris can do about that. Like,
Yep.
Chris is going to be eating that damage quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also a good deck for match play in Brad's mind because it gets rid of a lot of cards in Lost Pile.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a deck that can consistently win. It doesn't necessarily win by big numbers, but it does win, and it wins that Lost Pile, which
So
we did see come into play in the retro
yeah.
GEMPC
Yeah, we
last week,
see
Timo versus Johnny.
mm-hmm.
So,
We see ominous rumors from hand along with comp scan and some cranks to the weather vane. Um, to your summary about no idea, that's actually this year I made my first top eight. Oh, we see
ooh,
Sith
Baron
Fury and
fell.
Baron. Ugh, that's
Sith
rough.
Fury and Baron right away is rough.
Yep.
That's
And
going to
then
be.
the Stardust Ping, which is gonna be Maul Sith Infiltrator
Oof.
from reserve deck. Oof.
Chris must love his hand because I would hate losing those.
Yeah.
Like,
Back to the thing about no idea is that I made my first top eight and I was like, what deck can I play that I know I'm either going to lose by 10 or win by 10, but it is going to be incredibly close. And no idea was kind of it.
yep,
We see Unita come down to get the sabotage back.
which might be to a nod towards the cannons,
Mm-hmm.
as cannons definitely could be a problem. And I don't know who you are, but thank you for subscribing via Prime for 32 months. Subscribing is one of those ways that helps support the Players Committee, and there's Core and Horn on Rogue One. It's free to do if you have a Prime membership. You do get one free Twitch subscription.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you subscribe, that 32 months,
Yeah.
you're getting close to some more fancy foils, as that is one of the perks of being a subscriber is, Jared occasionally sends you cool stuff.
I mean, that and it pays for the NIL that got me here to stream with you tonight.
Very fair. I mean, we needed to cover that image and likeness. And
Yeah.
Brad just moves away to Endor, which is only a drain of one.
And he pays extra to do it.
Yeah, well,
But
there's
he,
only the two systems, so.
yeah, I mean, that's immaterial, but it is now,
And bring him before me, subscribing with Prime on getting his 9 months in. Thank you very
yeah.
much, Pierre. I
So
mean,
now,
Sim.
yeah, so now if you're Chris, you're paying to drain at this system, you're going to get your TTO damage, you're using Moth to check
I mean, the
your
question is,
reserve deck.
are you going to pay to drain at the system? I think you check your reserve deck. I think if you have and Vampire Hunter subscribing with Prime as well, thank you guys very much. I
Mm-hmm.
think if you have the ships to go after Rogue One, I don't think you're draining. I think you ping the two, and you need to kill space.
Yeah.
Like, Brad's not going to take Rogue One in through the capacitors. Like, I just, and I'm not even sure he wants to move Rogue One to the Death Star. I think if he wanted to, he would have done it from Scarif. He just wants to keep a battleground so he doesn't have to pay for his drains.
Of course, because you want this game to end as soon as possible
And
because you can't afford to take the TTO damage all game.
and I think that's what Chris is going to say. Yep, here's Boba Fett. So I think we're going to see Fett and Slave 1 along with a random pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And Rogue One there is immune to less than 6. But again, this TTO deck gets real high destiny real quick.
Yeah, and I mean it would need to cover. I think clearing the ship is going to be hard
Clearing the ship,
because
you
it's
need to get to 8. Because
12.
Corrin, well, Corrin is 7, correct?
Uh, Corrin does forfeit for 5
And then isn't he
and
+2 from, oh no, just defense value +2.
just defense value because he's not with Stardust.
Yeah, so 8 clears both pilots
Mm-hmm.
because Ray forfeits for 7.
Yep, and
So,
then
and we
the
see
Maul
Lord
plus
Maul.
1 could be important here.
Yeah, and there's Hujixin out of nowhere to add 1. Honestly, Chris probably doesn't care.
Nope.
Like, okay, fine, draw 2. Fett plus Slave 1 is going to cover a whole bunch of that, and
Then I've got a fully
Maul on
immune
the
ship.
Infiltrator is fully immune, adds 1 to each draw, and good luck.
Yep.
Like, you want to come down against me with just the Lightmaker, knock yourself out. Chris
And
uses his
Chris,
last force to grab that.
I mean, it
Okay.
takes it out. It takes it out of like he can't use Weathervane to get it back.
Yeah. I don't
I'm,
know that he's necessarily,
I don't know. It's the best value like
yeah,
target,
like,
but if he thinks he's going to get another beatdown in, go for it.
or it's more he might be looking at this and saying, I don't think Brad's going to play any more interrupts except maybe like an Antilles maneuver. And I think if you take Rogue One out here,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that Brad can go back to space.
Because he can't use the objective to pull Tantive. What other space you running? Lightmaker, maybe Gold Leader and go 1. Good luck.
Hanchuing the Falcon.
HCF. Okay, so
Like
we see
he will
Tarkin's
have
bounty.
a ship or two. So
Tarkin's
there's a 6 and
bounty
a 5
and
as an
5.
11, which will absolutely kill both pilots.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
2, and he can't pay to
well, he can't pay
retrieve.
to retrieve because Chris has got secret plans out. I mean, if
Mm-hmm.
this is another 2, Chris doesn't lose anything. Yeah.
Nope, there it
Chris
is.
says, thank you, I'm immune.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And at 12 power, I mean, yeah, it's both pilots, but even that's 9. He still has to peel.
no, both pilots are going to cover because he's going
Not
to
if
be
he's dark
he's
time.
at 12
Oh yeah, he's at 12. Yeah.
and the
Okay. I can
pilot,
do math.
or he's at 10
10.
after those 2 dusters,
Pilots are
11.
12. The pilots are 12.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's why he dark timed because Ray adding 1 to the total
Would have
would have
cracked the
cracked
immunity.
the
Yep.
immunity. So that was well played by Chris. I'm sure both of us would have thought of that while we were playing it, but watching this,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of got to be like, well, I don't know what's in the hand, so I don't know what they're planning for. But that was well played by Chris, and I think at this point, what you're going to see is this game just turned into a drain race, and Brad is marginally ahead. Chris has got 31 cards total. Brad has got 33.
Mm-hmm.
And Brad's going to be doing 5 a turn that he pays for to Chris's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 a turn that he pays for. But if Chris can get the the effect out, that's going to turn this.
Yeah, and I mean
You know,
Chris now because he's cornered space, right? Because Brad's got to this turn either go reinforce Rogue One and face that same stack, or he's got to draw up. And if you're Chris,
and
if you have another, there's Jaren Webb to
is
Rogue
he
One.
gonna send him to the Death Star? And like, so he didn't drain. Are we gonna? Oh, and Captain Hera, I
Need a third rebel. There's
And there's
Cassian. Okay.
Cassian. All right, so
So one of the battle destinies could potentially be canceled
yeah,
because the odds of Chris having two a dark time kind of low.
yeah, and and
They
so
run
that
away.
move away is interesting.
I mean, you take a fully immune ship
You get
because
it fully, you get to be fully immune,
less
but
power.
it doesn't actually change. You're still facing two battle destinies, and now you're
It's the
subtracting from one of them, and it's only 3 power less.
yeah. I
So now, if I'm Chris here, I think I say, well, I'm going to drain for 2. I'm going to ping you for 2.
hmm
I'm going to move Fett over and say, now I'm drawing 3 at Scarif. And I'm just going to wait for my opening.
Or do you ever consider landing Maul at the docking bay, get him out, and you're draining for 4 and your TTO damage?
Well, the TTO, that doesn't, yeah, I mean, it doesn't change the TTO damage. I don't know that I love landing Maul right now. Maybe if
I
you
mean,
put another pilot with Fett or you put another ship up there, like
yeah,
we saw the Falcon go, we saw the Falcon as a Destiny draw, so Brad doesn't
yeah,
have it to go after him.
yep.
So
We,
I think the Falcon's relatively safe, and Lord Maul at the docking bay is probably somewhat safe, but it
I
is
mean,
still
you have six forfeit to cover
in the
with
ship.
the ship. Yeah.
I think you got to figure out a way to handle Rogue One. You
hmm
need to get rid of Rogue One. You can't just let Brad chase you around.
So Tarkin went to the beach, unlike the movie where he just shot it.
Um, all right.
So I'm gonna get two Destiny against your numpties. There's your
And
swoop.
it's going to add 1 to the TTO damage
hmm
if he survives, but Gogolen doing this scream.
Oh,
Oh, okay. I'm
and
like, Gogolen doing this screams, I have a Gick, but now he doesn't have to fear the rebeat.
and here comes that beatdown potential that we were talking about, which is why grabbing that Hujix was huge
Yeah.
because Willard's only going to cover 6. He's 2
So
power, so
Willard's
that's
going to
8.
be 9. He's 3 power plus the
Oh,
6,
he's
so
3.
he's
Yep.
9. So you're probably overflowing him for 5 or 6. I'd imagine you're at 7 plus 2, and if there's a 2, that's about as bad as it could have been.
Which is exactly the number of Imperials.
And a 5, so you're at 14. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be Willard and 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
There's the Tantive from
Tantive from
hand,
hand, yeah.
Sabotage from hand.
And now I think Chris probably spends his 1 to move Fett over.
Ezra from hand, perimeter
Perimeter
scan,
scan.
and corporate pal. And the drain earlier, we kind of glossed over it. He lost Blount and Wedge and Tilly's Red Squadron leader, which is one you'd really love to see up on Rogue One this turn. So, in terms
Yeah,
of,
I mean, he's Chris is putting in the damage, and
yep.
that's creating a problem. I think you got to move. Yep. Oh, he moves Maul over instead of Fett.
Well, I mean, if he somehow, like, he couldn't, I'm trying to think. Brad, I don't think could have Willard into HCF before.
I don't think he has yet, and
Yeah,
I think
so
there we see Naboo from reserve deck
yeah,
and Blast
and
Points.
blast points.
Chris is real happy to see that Naboo go there.
Yeah, and then the
Like,
Stardust ping is U3PO from reserve deck, which
which is fine.
I mean, Chris is going to feel really lucky that he didn't draw that Naboo for Destiny.
And it looks like Chris is gonna move
Jin
Jin.
over
Yeah, he's gonna go after Tarkin
because
and
he,
yeah, but I mean, Brad's only got 6 cards in hand.
yeah, I mean, he
He
could be
lost the Endor
dropping
Commando
Leia.
team already.
He could be dropping Leia. He could drop. Yeah, there's Leia and Melshi, the one who goes and fetches another character. There's Taito,
Yeah.
which is going to be subtracting two. No, he'll subtract two at the moment.
Number your spies out of play. Yeah, he's got 2 out of play. And there's
Here's Sand,
Sand. So, but like Chris probably
which
doesn't
isn't.
isn't too sad to see Sand. Like, okay, that means I do get my destiny through.
Mhm.
You
And
know?
then there's Melshi. So he's at 20 power
Yeah,
pretty quick.
and Chris is at 7 plus 12 in forfeit.
Yeah, and he's going to draw one
I
destiny, if
feel
not
like
two.
Chris has got a gick. Like I think there's no
Yeah,
way Chris makes this play against No Idea without a gick.
yeah.
That's just such a you know
Hmm.
you're gonna get got.
Yep.
And we
And
see he takes the light maker with Sand.
hmm
Um, I like the idea of the light maker more than I actually think it's going to help you in this battle or in
yeah, so,
any battle right now.
so he draws a four, so he's up to 28. And Chris draws
To
a four.
11. So we're
12.
at, so he's down 17. He's got 12 in
Mhm.
forfeit. I think he's got a gick.
I mean, if not a 7-5, and it's essentially a trade from the last turn.
Yeah, but that'd be such a,
I mean, it's a
that's a
negative
bad
tempo
trade.
play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if he doesn't have the gick, that was a bad trade. And I think that was a, I almost would have rather seen those two go to, oh, he does
And
not
he
have
didn't
it.
have the gick.
Ouch. He lost the gick off reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if without the gick, I think I would have rather seen them go to the Endor docking bay
Hmm.
and just been like, fine, you can have your sites, I'm gonna have mine, and start battling. Or
Yeah, I
put
mean, so
Tarkin on with Fett and then
I
land.
mean, this game is going to be close. I think it's going to be the standard, no more than 10. But
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, if you're Chris, you
Chris is
can't
still a
clear
couple
him off.
cards ahead.
Right, but he's going to be doing four that he's paying. I mean, he's doing four. He'll have to pay for the one drain.
Yeah,
You with Sandout, you can't clear with all the forfeit on row one. And at some point,
and you're
I
fine.
mean,
That's like if you battle Rogue One here,
mhm.
you force Brad to Sand,
Yep. And we see the light maker and a projection go from hand to the
and
TTO damage.
if you force Brad to Sand, then from now on, Brad
Hmm.
can't sand.
And we see
And
fades and where's Han go from the reserve deck.
and that's going to hurt it.
Hmm.
Like I do think Brad is doing slightly more damage. There's Eli in the Dreadnought. Um, and
So
there's
there's
Antilles
Ant-Man,
maneuver to deploy a pilot, and he misses. So Brad's running kind of low on cards. Like he might be tracking to that 5, and there's Thrawn on board. See,
which
this
is
is why I would have moved Fett instead of Maul, because now this turn you could have, in theory, done your battle here and then moved a ship back to Endor and
mhm,
landed Maul and said, okay, I'm
yeah.
well ahead of you in everything.
And then here's the Battle Destiny ad with the capacitors,
Yep.
which
And Brad's got to decide, like, Brad can also draw 2 here.
mhm.
And maybe he says, I'm not going to sand. I'm going to draw my 2 and hope to clear
But
something.
but I mean, if you draw the two though, then you let Vader subtract two,
Yeah.
so you don't know your destiny's that good.
But you're canceling one with Andor.
Yep.
Like, there's not a good answer here for Brad. I'll be entirely honest.
No.
There's not an answer for Brad that he likes because he's going to be down so much in power
Hmm.
that I think drawing the 2 battle destinies is the right play.
I agree with you because
And he does
then he.
subtract one more from a uh, from Jaron Webb
Mhm.
being with the leader, and we see he draws Bays
Bays.
and pays one to retrieve one.
And here should be coming the -2 from Vader.
I mean, Bays is only Bays is a 2.
Oh, Hera does the
And
cancel and
Hera's going to
redraw.
cancel. So now there's a 6. Now we'll see the -2 from Vader, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing is, Gogolen's got and a 3, so that's a 7.
And
So that's Jerjerrod and Ozzel.
can we talk about take the initiative? Like, that's spicy.
I don't like seeing Lord Vader go. You lose 7, but you lose the plus to the Battle Destinies. And you lose the power of Maul's shit. I don't like that play at all.
So Hera's left on there. Walkling is going to get popped.
I mean, Brad's got to do that just for force right now.
Yeah. Do you ever land Vader? No.
No, God, no. No, you leave. You leave Naboo alone, or you leave Scarif ground alone.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, Brad's got to think about landing. Because if you move Hera to Endor,
she doesn't
you're
draw
not
Destiny.
drawing. Like, you've got to get a pilot in that 3-card. You've got to have a pilot in that 3-card hand. Because it's not like he can Vanden Willard for it.
No.
I hated losing Maul there. I would have 100% lost Ozzel and the Moff, because then you could have still done something with Maul. And like I said, you could have. Why are you?
Oh man, I feel smart that Hall of Famer Chris Gogolen liked my idea.
But it's a bad idea. Like, it's
playing,
nice that Chris likes your idea, but I would like
it
better if it was a good
no
idea. So now I really want to see Eli move to Endor.
Nope, he just draws.
Okay, I would have liked to keep that drain, because now you give Brad the ability to run away. And I get you're blocking a drain of 3, because it is +1 with Jin, unless he wants to move Jin back.
And he can use Mitt to. Can he target the data vault?
Yeah, he can target with Mitt.
Yeah. So
Brad is. Taco in Taco Bill in chat says no one liked that play. So Myth targeted the. No, he targeted the right side. He targeted the data vault.
Yeah, he did.
That was. And he said wrong site, and Brad offered a revert, and Chris was like, nope, never mind. So you target the data vault, I think, because you don't want him to just move somebody away. But like,
if he moves Saw over, fine.
Yeah, I did not like that land. I guess he's trying to, if Saul moves over, he just adds a bunch to the attrition and whatever. Like, you're probably peeling everybody there anyways. You were ahead in the drain race. Lock that down. Here's
Bodhi. Is the play that
now he's getting 2 Battle Destinies there, and there's Hanshui and the Falcon.
So is the play the reason that landing Vader made sense is that Rogue One is now no longer immune. Now
Rogue One is still fully immune. It's fully immune there while piloted by a rebel.
I thought the Dark Jedi thing, but it's opponent system. Okay.
Yeah, it's opponent system unless a Dark Jedi.
Yeah. All right, it was a bad play, but Chris, I'm glad you did it.
Chris, it made me happy that you did it, even though I don't think it was the right move.
I mean, we're about to find out if the payoff works.
I guess you can always shuttle Vader up. Like, your fear here is, I guess, can you keep one guy alive to get an extra ping and a free drain?
I mean, right now
Well,
it's
and he's not
that
moving
covers the
away from
shuttle.
Scarif.
That's
That covers Gergerod.
Jertaron. Well, almost +1,
Yeah. I'm assuming another 5 here. Okay,
and then a 4.
so he can
So
take out
it's
Shuttle, Gergerod, and Ozzel
hmm
potentially, but like let's do the math on that here. So there's a 4 for Battle Destiny.
that's 16, 20,
Kaidu subtracts 1, so
30.
he's 13,
Right.
so he's down 20. I guess you could go Vader. Shuttle doesn't have any, so you go Vader, Shuttle,
Jertaron.
Gergerod. That's 18.
hmm
So then you're losing 2 to make him lose an extra 1, or you just peel everything and move on.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like that play. Yeah, it's not a free drain, but it adds 1. If you keep a guy there, it adds 1 to the TTO damage.
hmm
And yeah, you're not draining anywhere, so it's not a. The thought is you could drain for free if you hold the battleground site, but you're not draining. So I think you just. I think you lose everybody, and you go, okay, well, I
Yeah,
lost.
Chris is in the tank now. He's thinking.
I mean, he effectively lost cards on table to block the drain of 3 instead of losing the drain of 3,
hmm
which I guess, but it really slowed down his damage chain otherwise, which
hmm
is kind of my concern. Like you lose the damage, and now he's got to think about battling in space where he can draw 3 to
There's
the
the shuttle.
2. There's
There's
Vader.
Vader.
I think you lose everybody. I can't see losing 2 just
I think he's gonna
to
lose it.
ping 1 more. Yeah, the dark side's way weaker. This was, and
There's
apparently Chris just
Marajek
disagreed.
and Saber one.
So Saber one, I'm totally fine with him losing. He already lost.
He didn't know that it was gonna be Saber one. He
I
top
know.
decked it.
Chris is a good tracker. Maybe he knew. Probably not because that's so. And Brad dropping, don't do that again. There's no way he's playing Legendary Starfighter, is there? Like he's got no cards in hand.
No, I think he wants to shuffle the deck before he loses a 5, a 4, and a 4.
Yeah, that could be. Although Legendary Starfighter would be really dirty because he's absolutely going to win that battle if
Yeah.
they battle at Scarif because he can go, all right, I'll sand, and then I get a battle at Destiny to power. But he does not have one, so yeah, he just shuffled it, and now he's going to peel 3. And he can't retrieve any, so like
He
he
loses a
loses the
6,
6, the
a
2, and the
2.
3. And Chris goes for the shuffle. He had a command, and I don't know what else.
That's the only thing we knew
Yeah.
was the command.
So, as much as I hate to, I think you almost have to battle in space and eat that sand. Like, you have to eat
Yep.
that other card off sand and go, all right, well, I'll draw 1 to your 1, but you get 1 to power. And you just forfeit Maul's ship
Yeah.
and then
hmm
shuttle Ozzel up, but like, you
Then you're turning
lost
around.
damage.
Then you're turning 5 the next turn.
Sam, I don't think the counterbeat in space is actually going to be that bad. Brad has no cards in hand. Brad has no way really to counterbeat. And
You just
all
have
you'd
to.
lose there would be Maul's Infiltrator.
The counter beat potential would be,
And if he takes the card off sand, then he's walking into I'm drawing 3 Battle Destiny against you.
there's the
Okay,
Maul.
there's the Maul. So now he's immune to yeah, short range fighters is grabbed.
Yeah, that was
But he could
Brad's
still
turn
have the
1.
other. Yeah, that was the very first. Brad grabbed that on turn 1, which is good. I mean, could still battle here
Could
in
have a
short
second
range
one.
fighters. Like he's probably got more than one, and
Mhm.
I don't know that I'd hate that. And it also turns the weather vane one, which is good. Like
Yeah.
you're still giving up the weather vane,
Hmm.
and there Brad does take the card off
There's sand.
sand. So now you're looking at next turn, you're still risking facing multiple battle destinies.
Hmm.
And Bodhi looks at his hand. There we
There's the
see the
5.
5 for the destiny to total power. And Maul can't add because of sand.
Sand. So it's just a 4, so
Yeah,
nothing's lost.
yeah. Well, without the short range fighters, I don't. I think. And a 1, so you're actually winning that battle. That 1 was probably the worst thing Brad
Yeah.
could have drawn. Like
And you
that
kind of
was
have to pitch Bodhi. Yep.
yeah. And now you just shuttle Ozzel up,
Hmm.
and then I think you send Eli to Endor. And what did Brad take into hand? I don't even. Oh, he's got
Double
double agent.
agent. Double agent.
See, I think I'd get spicy here. I would shuttle Ozzel up to Eli Vanto. I would fly Eli to Endor, and I would shuttle Maul. I would shuttle Thrawn to the docking bay.
One card hand, and you know it's double
Yeah,
agent.
he
I
has
mean,
one card
you.
in hand that is
Hmm.
not a pilot, that is not a character.
Yep.
He
Yep.
cannot hurt you, and it gives you a free drain of 1.
And
And
even if
if
he
you need to, you
outpowers
can
you,
shuttle him
you.
back up next turn.
And I mean, Fett and Slave One cover 11, so the odds
Oh,
of
and
him.
Hall of Famer Greg Shaw agrees with my play because it would also set up resistance.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Jin would move to make it 2-2. I don't think it really matters. I just.
But it's and instead he lands Moss ship.
Why are. Chris.
I
Chris,
mean,
I mean, I guess in
here's the
theory, you're
thing.
looking at this and going, I will grind you out of guys. Like, you're not
Well,
getting a
it's
beatdown
also
here.
like, but he also knows that the best he's going to draw is a 6, because the 2 destinies that he just drew were a 5 and a 1. He can activate down to it if he gets the 2. Fine. He's not
Yeah.
okay. So what do you
I mean,
take? All
Bill
right, fine.
says
You lose the ship.
taking less damage in match play isn't bad. I guess it's just you're also causing way less. Although you are getting to the point where you
Isn't it
might
just
be able
about
to
winning?
survive a guy with TTO.
Yeah.
And I guess that's, you know, now you're taking a drain of 1 and a ping of 1 because there's no way he's moving Jin over via the objective. So,
I mean, he
I mean, Chris
could,
is a
but
Hall of Famer. You and I are streamers for a reason. Well, I
I
mean,
mean, fair.
Chris would, or excuse me, Brad. I If you move Jin over, you're giving up at the beach.
Hey, I was the one that had the crazy idea of plating Vader earlier, and it proved to be exactly what a Hall of Famer would do.
I mean, Chris is at 11 cards down right now and 1 in hand.
Hmm.
So he can't win by more than 11. I mean, the TTO doesn't have any retrieval.
No, but I mean, he's done a great job of neutralizing the weather vane, because it's has Brad retrieved with it the entire game?
I don't think he has. And
I
I
don't think
think
he
that's
has.
been a thing, but like he could in theory next turn because he gets it, he'll drain for 1 and
In
then
battle
he'll
in space,
start
with
about the
knowing your destiny is a 1 and a 5. Okay, cool.
the attrition on the beach. Yeah, I mean there is a chance he gets to the point where Gogolen has to lose Maul and the ship.
Hmm.
And I think that's okay. All right, and he shuttles Thrawn down as well. So Yeah, it's
Do you shuttle Ozzel up?
no, no.
No.
You need
Okay.
you want to keep some forfeit fodder in there.
Well,
I don't
no,
think he's
because like
abandoned. He's
now,
still drawing 3 Battle Destiny at the system,
yeah.
and Hera's no longer adding 1, so he's drawing 3 to 1.
Hmm.
Like that's actually I actually don't think the Thrawn move was bad at all.
No,
Like that's why I would have gone the other way and what the other play. I think the Thrawn move was smart. I don't love the move down, but if you're going to move down, this is the way to do it because now you're probably winning the system.
there goes a
And
masterful from reserve deck. So, what 2 cards could Chris value to lose a 5? I mean, it was blind. He didn't know, but a 5 and a 6.
yeah, I'm wondering what 2 cards in his hand are that strong. It can't be short range fighters because he got 1, 2, 5, 5 is Brad's reserve deck.
Hmm.
Apparently, I know there are people who hate when folks do that in chat. Um, it's fine. So there, the weather vane does get the full flip, so he
So he's going to be
can
able to retrieve
retrieve.
two this turn. One from the weather vane and drawing 2 destiny. He's got a pretty good
Probably
shot of
draw a spy
yeah. Well, no,
or
the
a rebel,
2 is the only one, so it's a quarter. But it's a
and
rebel, so
he
Luke.
retrieves any 1 card, so he gets the combined fleet action, getting the 6. So
Yeah.
he adds a destiny to attrition with Leia, so he's drawing 3 out of 4, and there's the swing at Taidu that he's going to cancel. Which okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, he's already over 3 out of play, so at this point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and you're going to lose a guy,
Hmm.
and that's you're going to lose a guy. That is what it is. And there's not within sight or reach to prevent him from adding that attrition destiny.
Yep.
I like that play.
So
It also stacks him a 5, so Chris is or Brad's going to have to move away from Scarif. You can't sit at Scarif now,
there's the 2, which is gold leader and gold one.
and you're
So,
fine with that. Like okay,
and then
and
the
a
other
5 is a
5.
7, so that's Ozzel in the ship or
Hmm.
Maul. Like I don't think you can lose Maul at this point.
No.
Like I think that's just 2, and there's a 6 for Battle Destiny. So now we know he's got 5, 5. All right, so he makes it a 3. That's fine. So you're down 6. You owe 7. Taidu dies. I think you got to
You lose
go.
Ozzel in the ship.
Yeah,
Because Maul, the targeting and like cornering ability
yeah.
is sneaky good.
Maul forces Chris to do something, or
Hmm.
forces Brad to do something with those
Yeah.
guys that he doesn't want to do.
And now, if you're Brad, can you
The other
battle and
option,
stay?
actually, you could lose Thrawn and then just take off Maul next turn. Yep. So
And that's
that
what he's
would be
going to
the
do.
other. Yeah, I think you land Rogue One and fly Han to Endor is fun. Nope, Brad just draws.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
like
he's
that
going
at
to
all.
lose, and he drew 4 cards, so he's got so the 2 on top are going to be a 2 and no, a 1 and a 5.
So here's the thing: Chris is drawing 3 Battle Destiny at Scarif.
Hmm.
Like Rogue One is immune, but you're going to be. We know 2 of them are 5s.
Yep.
So you're going to be maybe HCF covers the loss in power.
Yeah. So we see a 5. So we know the top card of his reserve deck is Luke because we saw Baze
Yep.
go and double agent from hand.
And there's Jendon and Onyx One, who
Is just a dude.
is forfeit fodder.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he doesn't do anything other than forfeit
And
fodder
then
up
here's the
there. But
battle.
here's the battle. Here's the 3 Battle Destiny. Um,
There's the 1 to the power, which is fine.
yeah,
And so the next one should be the 5.
There's the we shall double our efforts that Chris is probably really, but that means he's going to draw a 15 up there.
Mm-hmm.
And a 5 Jendon fully covers.
Yeah, it's the 5 should be next. Yep.
Now the question is, do you just leave Maul? Like, I kind of hate that, but at the same time, it blocks a drain of 3. Oh, ooh.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you know that it's going to be 5-1.
Yeah,
He
like
battles, he can retrieve 1. He's going to ping 2. You, he's
I
not going
mean, at
to,
this point, the play is: do you move Eli to Endor and pay 6 to do 3 next turn, and then another 2, and you've got Brad to the point that he can't drain.
mm-hmm. I do think you move Eli over.
And if you move Eli over, then Maul's going to stay there.
Yeah, because the two cards in the hand would nope, he just draws it up. Okay.
Okay. And
I would have moved him over
yeah, I think
because
he might have been a little concerned that in theory, if Brad had a second Luke or somebody who could draw Battle Destiny, or
yeah,
he can
I
drop it
think
on
he's
Rogue One with Attract 5, I think Brad might be drying up. He's going to ping, and he can't pay to drain.
he
There,
can
Chris
move
loses
Jin
the
over.
image. I mean, if he moves Jin over, he's still got to pay to drain. If he moves, then he can't draw up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the question is, does he draw up to reduce the lost pile? Or does he try and, no, I think he tries to stick for a turn and says, I can,
And he's throwing Torn Far.
yeah, so he's going to throw Torrin Far on there and probably just move to Endor. Chris has no cards in hand either. Like, okay.
Yeah. So this is
And
where at least having um Eli there, it just makes the running around easier. But
yeah, I
okay,
mean,
fine.
now I mean, if you're Chris,
You go after.
you cause 4 damage.
Mm-hmm.
You TTO for 3 and then drain 1 at the system. And then I think you just move Fett to Endor and say thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're gonna lose a couple more
He's
cards,
saved 4. Is he gonna fight to try? But I mean, if you kill Jin, that's another force loss.
and I don't understand. Like he's gonna just cancel the swing, so you're either gonna kill Jin for a force loss, which just moves Stardust to somebody else, and there's no benefit to killing Jin. Like you're better served just leaving
Mm-hmm.
Maul there.
Mm-hmm.
You say you can't overflow me. You're gonna drain for 1, ping for 1, and that's it.
Yep.
Like I don't get cute here, Chris. And there, Chris does
I
just
think
move Boba
he.
Fett over.
I guess he left the 4 because he knew that what the Destiny were, so he would know it
Yeah.
there on the top. That
So
would make
now,
more
and
sense.
that might be that is he just says, okay, this I know what my destiny are. He's gonna draw a couple because he's gonna end up losing a couple anyways.
Yeah.
So maybe he draws into like a limited resources if it's in the deck. That would make me so happy. But apparently he did not, as he didn't snap play it,
I mean,
and
I know it is
so
your favorite card.
at this point, I think Chris wins by 6. I don't think
6.
there's anything. I don't think Brad can cause any more damage.
He's
Oh,
placing
5.
another spy to play
So
just
he'll
to
move Jin over to make it a drain +1.
full
So
resistance. Full resistance. Just kidding.
it's still drain a 2. Like,
I know. I was saying it to be funny.
So he wins by 5
Hmm.
because if you can't kill them all, you can't. You're gonna take 3 from TTO,
Yep.
and that's it. Like
Brad just decides to
Brad says,
recirculate.
okay, yeah. I mean, there's nothing Brad can do there. So
I would have suicide Leia into Maul just for fun.
yeah, I mean, you could, but I don't think it. You'd end up with one more. You'd end up with the exact same amount of cards in Lost Pile. So oddly enough, Brad has less cards in Lost Pile than Chris.
Hmm.
So we get Chris by 5 with a
31, 34.
yeah. Chris plus 5, 34, 31 lost.
And I guess they're going to play the second game.
Yep, I think that was the plan. Is they're gonna
Yep.
play the second game. Yeah, Chris definitely like I didn't love a couple of the moves, but he did pull out the victory and well played by him. And it looks like Greg Shaw is going to be playing his top 8 match as
Hmm.
well. I guess maybe if that is still going when we see this one finish, we'll go there. So we got a couple minutes here.
Hmm.
Um, I've heard a rumor
Okay.
that there's some sort of large scale event going on this August in Columbus, Ohio. I believe it's U.S. Nationals. Do you know anything about that tournament, good sir?
No, I don't know. Shock. Yes. The basement crew and I have been working pretty hard, and we are happy to be hosting nationals in August at Heroes and Games at the Columbus Convention Center. Matter of fact, I was texting with them earlier today. They're excited to have us. When I told them about the amount of people that are coming, and I've been working with the tournament committee to finalize the schedule. We should have a post out about it sometime this week or next. So um,
And
Kendall, Travis, and I have been working pretty hard behind the scenes to try and make this a really, really good experience and pay pay homage to our good friends over with Team Wales over in Europe, who just had a very fun tournament from the photos that Hayes and a few others posted over the weekend.
I believe Hayes is going to be in Ohio as well. I know
He,
I will speak from personal experience. I've gone to the last 2 Ohio Mega Worlds. Heroes and Games is a gorgeous facility. We are going to have their whole playroom, which is a huge, awesome space for the
mm-hmm.
weekend. It's connected right to the Hyatt downtown, which is a nice, I mean, it's a Hyatt, it's a nice hotel.
Yep.
The food options, the beverage options, it's a fun place to be. And honestly, it's great people.
Mm,
Like
I
you and Kendall and Travis do a heck of a job hosting and bringing everyone together and like everyone the event just keeps getting bigger. I remember the first Ohio I drove in with AJ
mhm.
and we were definitely the farthest travelers. I think a couple people came over from like I think Dan came over from Pittsburgh and
Taco
Greg
Bill
Shaw
came
and
from
Taco came from New
Taco
Jersey.
came from Maryland along, and then Searson came in as well. So
Yeah. And then the next year Hayes came and it next year got, bigger.
Hayes was there both
Or Hayes
years,
was there
and
both years.
then
Yeah, that's right. Because
and then Sam came, and Matt Lutz
CRG, Matt
came.
Lutz. Yeah.
Kessling came, the defending Ohio Mega Worlds champion. He's got the belt currently at home, taking care of his newborn.
I,
So
I, I knew he was having one soon, so good for
yeah,
him.
Mike, if you're listening, congratulations to you and Jen.
Congrats, Mike. I hadn't heard you had the baby, so
Yeah.
I say
So
congrats. You were involved in it for all of about 10 minutes. So, and then she did
mhm,
all the rest of the work. So well done
true
on
story.
that. You know, I've got 3 kids. I know how this works.
Yeah. Yeah, so
So,
we were up to over 32 people last November. And we are excited and hoping that nationals this year will break that. And from the chatter we're hearing, we think it might.
and I think it will. Like
I'm excited to
I'm
show off.
hoping.
Yeah, I'm excited to show off some of the good areas. And one of the big draws is the North Market is um, very walkable. It's about 2 blocks from the convention center where we're going to be at. And they have over like 25 different restaurants that you can grab food and take back. It's very walkable. We've got a good kind of routine figured out for Sunday night. There's another food hall that's a very short Uber ride over that can accommodate big crowds, and they have plenty of space and beer and everything. So I think the table is
The
up. So it looks
table
like
is
Gogolen
up.
and Brad. Yep.
So Brad going with ISB and Gogolen. Looks like maybe Skywalker Saga. We're gonna see
Might be
Luke
Hitco.
Saga. Hitco would have played Hitco first, not the site.
Oh, that's right, because you have to
So,
select.
and
Yep.
he
So,
played the
yep.
Rise of Skywalker. So yeah, we're gonna
Yep.
see Luke Saga. All right. I mean, this will be interesting.
Yeah,
So
Chris traded in one Luke deck for another one.
yeah, I mean, it's Hitco with different tricks. I mean,
Yeah.
this ISB, if this is a similar deck to what Brad ran in the last round, Chris has got to watch out for the Dark Collaboration beatdown. And he
And we
gets
see,
the scum right away. I don't need their scum to go get Unita, Hujix, or Scanner Tax. Like, he might want all 3 of those.
the first play from Brad was to go get the Executor.
Yep. And that's a pretty straightforward. Brad's going to go. What did he get with? I don't. Oh, he grabbed the Hujix. Okay.
Piet. Yeah, Hujix and then Piet.
Yep. And Piet is a. I mean,
Oh,
Brad's going to go. Here's the Executor docking bay. Here's Piet. Here's Mirjik. Actually, he can't do Piet and Mirjik because he's only got
never
3
under
force.
yeah, underestimate the power of the North Market. The power is the ice cream. Yes, Jenny's ice cream is definitely a place that I'd recommend, and um, we'll be putting out a notice to have Fox in the Snow brought into the game room on Saturday morning. So
And
more to come.
I'll be honest, Fox in the Snow is at least 10% of the reason I'm going. I'm
I'm
I
what,
was so
70%?
blown away by it last year. Like, I didn't try it the first year. I tried the you brought some to Indiana to
Mm-hmm.
the Eclipse event, and I was like, oh my gosh, those are amazing. And so last year, yeah, we grabbed it on Sunday, and then we grabbed it Monday on the way out of town.
I try not to overhype food, and but that is one that I think is just exceptional, and everyone I've taken there always says it's a good thing. Just like I'm not trying to overhype some of the prize support that we have been incredibly fortunate to have some local establishments here in Columbus donate for nationals. So more to
And
come on that.
I definitely get not trying to overhype food, as we see Kiss My Wookie subscribing for 40 months now.
Yep.
As a rotund gentleman, I'm going to tell you Fox in the Snow is some of the best pastries I've ever had. And I am a man who likes pastries.
Mm-hmm.
And the savory pastry I had on the drive out, the everything bagel pastry was, I'm salivating a little bit just thinking about it.
Yep.
Like, that was an amazing drive, and just eating that on the drive was outstanding. As Chris drops a couple Cloud City sites and picks some up,
Yep.
like, both
He didn't
players
even
are just trying to set up here. Like,
Yeah, he didn't even bother checking his reserve deck. I imagine he definitely didn't want to play the 2-2 yet.
yeah,
So,
he had both of those in hand, which is
mhm.
not his ideal. So he's like, oh, I don't even want to risk putting out the 2-2.
Yep.
And we see Taco Bill saying Chris beat Jared on ISB to get into the top 8. Jared's build, which was very much a beatdown build,
Yep.
where this Executor build is a little different in the concept. It's a little less focused on here. I'm just going to drop 100 power on you.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's playing the same deck he played in the first set of rounds, he was running 3 Dark Collabs and was absolutely still, maybe he's not trying to drop 80 power, but he's perfectly happy dropping 40.
Yeah, I
And
imagine that it's going to come down to can Chris find his battle tricks, and is this the version of Saga that we've been seeing running Tiderium to maybe
Tiberium
take a
with my
run
sister
at the?
has it, and
Yep.
oh, you can't limit my battle destinies and eat it.
Right.
And,
Because I mean, if you're Brad, you have to kind of play around that because then you have to put a bunch of ISB agents on the Executor. There's no way to shuttle them in this build because there's no docking bay. So, you kind of have to make a choice which theater. And,
well, you've got the Executor docking base. You can always walk them down to it if need be.
mm-hmm.
So, and we see Chief Chirpa's hut from hand,
And
Luke, Jedi Knight, to the guest quarters, like my father before me, to go get him a lightsaber.
I mean, it's interesting that Chris didn't want to play the 2-2. And I think it's just because he wants to keep his activation advantage. I mean,
Yeah,
ISB only activating 8. Why give him 2 icons?
this is what Luke Saga can do a real good job of, is just Chris is now effectively activating 13 to 8 when you count the like my father being able to put a card
Mm-hmm.
down. And that's huge. That's part of why Hitco was so good when it was with the choke, is you just go, I'm giving you no force. Come get some.
Yeah, I mean, it's why I like the current EOPS deck that I've been playing a lot because it doesn't give up a lot of icons
Yeah,
in most matchups.
you choke hard and go, you know, you
Well, I
want to
mean,
activate a bunch, you better put out your sights.
thanks to you, I can choke harder because you were so nice enough to let me to do a very nice trade so I could get my third Darth Vader. So
Your third choke lord, Wayne Brady, Darth
yep.
Vader.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we see Brad dropping There's No Try. I'm
And we see Chris play Were You Looking For Me to Get 3PO with his parts, and Masterful to go get a Monarch.
okay. Now,
Hmm.
does Chris have a way to get? All right.
There's the
So there's
sister,
my
which,
sister has it to,
yep, got him.
really just burn him down to 12.
Yep.
So, because the 2 sites it can pull are already on table.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't shock me if Gogolen had a second. My sister has it in hand. Like, that's probably not the only one he has. And now we know, okay, that is the card. Brad's got to watch out for that card. And that is I'll pull it up real quick. It's during battle involving Rebel Leia, the number of battle destiny draws may not be limited.
Mm-hmm.
So if Brad is counting on, hey, I can command up in space with Ozzel, no, you can't. Like, you got to worry about that now.
All right.
And
So Brad goes to full docking bay, misses. He has the blockade docking bay. He played
yeah,
the bridge from hand.
I mean, he's got to probably have the spaceport docking bay in deck. He must have just activated it. Would be
Or the Endor docking bay still hasn't hit the
yeah.
table.
So there
So we
he's going
see,
to force push, which, okay.
I mean, I imagine he's trying to find enough agents to flip.
Yeah, enough agents, and usually you'd say enough force, but that'll give him 9 force, which is
But I mean, if
probably
you
enough
Lauren
if
is
you get
one
the
of
right
them,
Yularen. Yeah, Yularen is like, oh, I'll activate 27, and that's
Sam, if you're listening, I'm sure that just made your skin crawl. We know it's not 27.
I have occasionally been known to hyperbolize slightly. There's Lieutenant Pole, who does stuff. All these guys draw the top card of reserve deck or use pile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, There's Commander Mirjik, who normally you would have been like, oh, I'll use Piet to pull Mirjik to pull Bespin, but
Yep.
that
And
was
then there's
unnecessary.
Tarkin.
And there's Tarkin, so Brad
He
says,
doesn't
let
get
them
the
flip. I got my
benefit.
thing.
Yeah, he doesn't get the benefit of replenishing his hand with Tarkin, but
Yeah, but I think he's okay with that. Like,
yeah. Chris is now shield busted because
he,
he played aim high.
he's got his 3 ISB agents.
Hmm.
He's flipped. Chris is now. The one thing is, Chris now has 12 cards in hand. So, like, he can
Yeah, but you're gonna pay.
theoretically do something here.
I mean, you're gonna pay 3 to drain, and can you really?
I mean, you're
I
paying
mean,
3 to drain unless you have the combo right now. Like, if you have, here's the Tidarium plus Solo plus Princess Leia, you know, come get
yeah.
some. That could be real nasty, but this is where, at this point, I think if Chris is running the 2-2, yep, he doesn't drain.
Yeah.
So he's going for something. And I think he went for
I,
the 2-2 because he would have been perfectly happy to move Luke there.
I really hope the 2-2 is in there and he didn't have to go get Anakin Saber because that's unfortunate. It
Uh,
has happened to me.
Brad got to verify. So he might not be
Yep.
running Anakin Saber. Like, I could absolutely see just, saying, look, I'm never going to put,
Yeah.
I never want to put Leia or Rey on the ground where I'd be going to get the saber, so I'm not going to do that.
There's the 2-2 from hand. So
So, yep. Chris knew he wasn't going to draw it, wasn't going to find it on the search. He did drop 3PO. I mean, he might just take a turn here and move Luke
eat the
to the
drain of
2-2.
eat the drain of 3.
3. Yep, because
Yeah.
Cherno's not up in
Sure, no, it's
space
not
yet,
on table
so
yet. Yeah.
it's a drain of 1 in space and 2 at the blockade flagship docking bay.
Hmm.
Oh, excuse
Do you
me.
need a nap?
It's dude, it is 8:15 and I am old. So, like, I
I
don't know
was
what
I was
you're
up at 5. I was up at 5 a.m. for my workout this morning.
I was up at like 5 a.m. too. I'm old and I'm sleepy sometimes.
I know,
So,
but we love you.
so I'm not sure what the revert was for. Chris ended up doing exactly the same thing and 3PO'd into a card. And yep, there's the Luke move. So he's now subtracting 1 from the destiny of all of Brad's
Interrupt.
interrupts, which
Hmm.
Brad actually probably has some. Like, you're going to see Navarian
Accelerate.
all accelerates, Dark
Can't shake him.
collabs, and there's the free ride under celebration just to
I
suspend
mean,
and keep a card. Like, that Monarch is
it's just
keeping
sitting
Chris's
there.
hand in check.
Hmm.
And there he plays Rise of Skywalker to peek at the cards in force pile. So
Information's good.
yeah, information. It tells him if he wants to draw the next one.
Well, the next two, because he can put one back. He still doesn't put one down.
It doesn't matter. The moment he draws to 13,
Oh,
before he
that's right,
puts
because the
anything
inter.
back,
Yeah.
Brad could
Yeah.
Monarch. Now, if Brad did that, I would be a little surprised because Chris could then just draw up those 6 and he knows what they are.
Yep.
Like, I think Brad would at least wait another draw, and I think Chris is trying to bait it. Chris
Hmm.
says, all right, I'll draw to 13, and Brad doesn't fall for it, and Chris says, okay, well, I'll put this other card back and say go. So now next turn, Chris is going to have 20 force to work with. It's really just a question of if he got the stuff he needs.
Hmm.
Did he get the answers he wants?
Did he get a Jedi's focus so he can go tunnel and see and take any card out
Yep.
of his force pile that he wants? And he did get to set some of his destiny. I mean, he's not going to activate all of it, obviously, but
Yeah.
at least filter through and make
There's
sure that
the Luke
leadership.
from Force Pile that he knew. So he knew what he was
Yeah.
losing there. He'd put that Luke back and said, all right, I'll lose one. So he loses 2 leaderships off the top. I don't think that's what
I
he
mean, it's only going
really
to be
wanted.
I mean, it's only going to be impactful if he tries to run Kenobi because you can't leadership in space with most builds unless he's running like a Radis just for spice.
Yeah, I mean,
So Garrison goes down to the spaceport
Spaceport
docking
docking
bay.
bay. Piet goes for free. There's resistance. I assume we'll see Piet move over with the garrison.
Yep.
Um, okay,
And so,
like this is ISB.
yeah.
Really, this entire game is going to come down, I think, to can Chris clear the executor? If Chris clears that executor, I don't know how Brad wins the game.
Hmm.
If Chris can't
And
clear that executor in the next turn or so, I don't know how Chris wins the game because the damage is just going to grind up too hard.
yeah,
Like
I mean,
it doesn't sound like a lot because it really, I mean, it's like, oh, he's doing 5 a turn, okay,
yeah.
but
So
5 a turn adds up.
so right now, if you're Chris and you're trying to knock out the executor, you need a 4 card combo. You need Tidarium
And interesting,
or
Chris didn't even 3PO last turn.
mm-mm.
Like Chris is real happy with his hand. Like I'm not sure what he's doing here.
And
Now
he put a
he
card down.
yep, he liked my father to card down, which is fine. So he's got 21 force to work with. Um that's a Tidarium plus General Han Optimistic General plus Leia plus Scoundrel Lando is what are we at? 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's like 16-ish force.
Hmm.
So, and he goes for the drain of 2.
Never
And
again leave the city and then accelerate off the top, or
yeah,
the never leave the cities from hand.
him from hand and then accelerate off the top, which makes sense. Those are, I mean, the never gonna leave the city is the easy one. You're running
Yeah.
like 4 in the deck, but once you get it out, you don't care about it. So then it's just force loss. You're like, okay, well, I needed this right away. Once I get it, I don't care.
Hmm.
And all right, um,
So Screaming Lando into Tarkin. Cool. Hera.
with
So
Hera,
that's
so we're
three
already at 3
destiny.
destiny. So you're like, all right, Tarkin cancel 1, fine.
There's
There's
Anakin, and
Anakin,
I
so
bet
each
his
plus 1.
saber. I bet his saber was in the hand. That's why he didn't worry about a Jedi focus or
Yeah, could
um,
be.
a cunning warrior. Sorry, a cunning
Nope.
warrior.
Apparently it was not. Or he just
It's still
isn't
not.
running it. And he might have just said, well, I'm going to verify. So, all right. So we see the battle. He's going to retrieve a couple.
Just one.
Oh, yeah, just one from, because he doesn't have layer or anything.
Hmm.
So, but he's still like, all right, Tarkin can cancel 1. And out of commission would be kind of spicy here just to stop that arrest order. Nope, doesn't have it.
Yeah.
There's a 5. Like, I think you got to let that go. And a 6. I think you cancel that with Tarkin. Yep.
I mean,
And a 6. That doesn't. I mean, you're still.
you lose Treatum and Marajek.
Yeah,
Like it
you
doesn't
lose
clear. It
2.
doesn't kill Tarkin.
But Brad's only got 7 cards in hand.
Hmm.
Like, can Brad come down that hard on top of you?
Yeah.
And actually, you might lose more than that because you're down 16 power.
I mean, you could lose all of it. I'm surprised. Would you lose Lando in that situation or Hera?
Um,
Because Lando, you'd retrieve one, and the power
I
would go up.
wonder if he might have another Lando and not another Hera.
Yeah, and Brad decided to peel 3 to keep Tarkin, so he lost
Okay,
enforcement,
which makes enough
outer,
sense because
major party gas, and ceasefire.
he took the what's his face into hand when he drew him. He took oh no, he didn't take Wolf into hand. So
Enforcement's not on the table,
yeah, that's right.
and he
Now you
does,
have
and
to
he's not, and he doesn't have
Vandalay.
Vandalay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think he might have. I think he might have another Lando
Hmm.
and doesn't have another Hera. So you
Yeah.
look at that and go, all right, I'll lose one of each. Only drain a 1 at the spaceport docking bay as there's not an ISB agent there.
Yeah, we see Drain Their Fire and Princess Leia.
Okay, those are fine.
I mean, well, Don't want to lose Leia in this matchup, but
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think Draw Their Fire might actually be a harder loss
mhm.
than Leia. So now Brad's got 8 cards in hand.
Here's Callus,
We,
who's nice because he
I
replaces
will
himself in
say,
your hand.
we know Chris has the Hujix.
That's why you make this play.
So, and Brad grabs Tarkin Bounty and puts We Must Accelerate back on top of the use pile. So there's the Tarkin's Bounty to go grab. Like, yeah, this
Another
is.
garrison.
I mean, do you even go Garrison? Like, I think you just grab a body. Like, Chris has the Hujix, so you don't need to.
Oh, Vader.
And
Cancel Harris
there's
tax.
Vader to cancel Harris tax, so you're not losing anything.
And then Wolfie. I mean, you're not going to cause overflow, I don't think, because like
You, well,
Anakin, Hera cover 14,
14.
so
So now you're at 23 to
three.
15 plus 2 Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're probably not forcing the Hujix either way.
I mean, unless he's got the Dark Collab and just draws bananas.
Yeah, and like, but again, do you do theirs? Sure, no, in
There's
spades.
Cherno. Yeah,
The
that.
thing
So,
with the Dark Collab is, do you waste it when you know the Hujix is there?
it's not worth it.
Like, what's the is there any value in doing that when you know the Hujix is there?
Yeah. So there's Enforcer canceling Harris tax.
Yep. So, which is part of again, it didn't matter if you left Hera or, all right, so he is
And
going to
then
force out the Hujix. All right. I mean,
do you do
you
well
got you want
do
to
we
make
know
him
what
play
those
it.
destinies are?
No.
Yeah, because we know.
But it almost doesn't matter. Like, he's drawing 4 of them. He is going to cause overflow.
Yeah.
There's no way he's drawing 4 and totaling less than 8. There's a
Sneak attack.
3,
Non-V.
a 3.
3.
Maybe he's causing overflow. A
A
4. Yep.
4.
All right. So he's into. Chris is going to
Is
Hujix
the next one
this.
a 2? I
And
know
a
another
3.
sneak attack.
So there's a
Okay.
whole lot of sneaky attacks going on there. So,
Non-V, which is interesting.
that's actually a strong play because all your guys are
Yeah.
spies.
Yep.
So you can add 1 to your total battle destiny
hmm
or just add to your power. Like,
Yeah.
it's a card I've seen Brad run a lot in this deck. I haven't necessarily seen as many other players run it, but I think as a tech card, it's a solid,
Yeah.
like, okay, you know, there's only a few guys that don't get that +2 battle destiny.
hmm
I hope Gogolen's not thinking of peeling 5 and saving the Hujix.
He is.
Okay. I'm
Padme, Corrin, Escape Pod, and
Yoda
Yoda,
and
along
another
with
Lando.
Lando. So he's out of Lando's.
All right. That's
That tells me he's going to space this turn.
that's a choice. Yeah,
I,
that's
I mean, it's because he's worried about the command. Maybe I'm not sure, but that'd be. It's screaming to me he's going to space.
Bill. Carl likes light side spies and scouts. He doesn't like dark side spies and scouts. Bill is pointing out that you really liked seeing take the initiative, but you didn't like sneak attack. Like,
Bill, to be fair, I didn't know what sneak attack non V did. Okay, I was reading the card as it was going. Okay, way to like call out my childlike naivete. All right.
once I knew what it did, I thought it was good, but I had to read the card first.
Listen, when Grandpa told me what it did, I felt better.
I hate you all so much. So, I mean, there are like 4,000 cards at this point. Trying to
Yes.
have them all memorized, especially as a newer player, as somebody who hasn't been playing this for, you know, 30 years.
I can speak
It's hard.
intelligently about the cards I know what they do
My dog
most
apparently
of the time.
disagreed with everything I just said, but that's pretty standard. So Chris Gogolen activates here. He's using 3 to drain for 2. I don't know if 13 is enough to,
Vandalay, and I can't shake him.
which is fine. I mean, Brad's perfectly happy losing ISP agents.
Yep. Here's Sand.
Okay.
Who you running at?
That
Ray, and
there's his
he's
Han.
not going to space.
I mean, are you going at Tarkin and
With what?
just saying, all right, Callus doesn't add, and okay, Ben.
Ben? Well, he can't draw
There's the
Ray.
Anakin saber.
Yeah, from hand.
Yep. Which,
It's going to hit the garrison.
yeah, you hit the
Fine.
garrison, you kill somebody else. Like those guys aren't retrievable. But like,
I
I'm
mean, you
almost
hit the
wondering if you
gar.
wouldn't be better if you're gonna sand. Why not go after and kill Tarkin and Callus? Like, force Brad to go get those guys back instead of letting them sit and hold. Although those guys are retrievable, where if you battle there, you hit the garrison. Wolf is
The
retrievable. The
garrison is.
garrison just goes away.
Yeah, garrison and Piet are not retrievable.
Yeah,
Correct.
correct.
Yeah.
Wolf is the only ISB agent there.
Yep.
So you get this. You're gonna get you get the retrieval. So you retrieve the Lando. You sand to get Han, so you can threaten space. Like Chris is doing everything he can here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good ISB, and Brad's playing it well. Like this this was not going to be an easy game for Chris.
No.
And I think Chris is still trying to kind of mindset and go, what do I want to do? Because like if you sand, if you've got a second guy to put with Ben, and you kill off the garrison and you kill off, Wolf or Piet, like Brad has 6 cards in hand and Tarkin and Callus are accounted for.
There's the clash. This is what I was
Okay.
expecting. Yeah. So now.
So you're clashing the garrison, and now
You hit Piet,
you
and
hit
if you go to sorry
Piet,
about the
you kill the
mess.
yeah, like I guess that's kind of the play is if you have the sorry, and now you're going for the beatdown. Although I think if you have the sorry, you actually hit Wolf. Wolf
Yeah,
has got
because
higher
Wolf is
forfeit.
7. It's 7-6. Yeah.
Yeah, but Wolf is hold on. So Wolf is power 1 to Piet's 3. So no, you actually hit Piet. You end up Piet is 1 total force more. Piet is 9 power and forfeit. Wolf is 8.
Well, he's targeting Piet.
So he listened to us. All right, I like this.
He hits him.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
don't
he's
even
going
need
to
to draw
miss
the
now.
second. Nope.
Yeah, he wasn't going to draw a -4. So, well, I guess a -3 would have got there, but we've never really explored the idea of negative destiny numbers. That'd be an interesting.
Here's the
Yeah,
sorry.
there is
So
the
do you
sorry. So
lose
it
the
was
Odin? Yeah, he lost the Odin that he drew.
yeah, which makes sense because you're not going to you're not going to need the Odin.
Yeah.
So, but are you going to overflow Wolf? Like, this really just keeps Ben alive.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Without having
is
to take card off sand,
not a
which,
terrible thing. But he's taking the card off sand anyways because he wants Han.
yeah, which
Like,
is who he took.
yeah, he needs that space
Mm-hmm.
set up.
Or
And
at least to threaten it. Yeah.
yeah. And there's a
So he
5,
draws
so he's
5.
11 to 1. So it'll be Wolf and 3.
Yep.
That's fine. I mean, Brad's probably like, okay.
There's the
Or
gig.
Wolf and Gick, okay. And Brad is still blocking that drain with the garrison, so like he's not crushed right now.
I mean, it buys Chris time, but he's going to eat a drain of 4.
Yeah, which is
Mm-hmm.
more than what he'd like to. And Chris is going to draw a couple here.
Yeah.
So Oddly enough, neither player has grabbed an interrupt yet. And Chris draws everything, and then, like, my father's down a card. So he can at least threaten the grabber or barrier or whatever he wants to do.
Brad's still holding on to that monarch.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I think Gogolen is never going to get above 12.
Mm-mm.
So, and
There's
there's
the
rebel
leadership.
leadership to, and
There's the
that gets
grab.
grabbed, which I
It's
don't
gonna
think
go
is
get
grabbing.
Kenobi. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been using to get Han as well.
Well, we know it's in his hand, and he
Yeah,
didn't
we know
3PO.
Han's in his hand, but that would have been the Obi-Wan will be interesting because he can also Obi-Wan can just lose 2 to go back and get that sorry.
Mm-hmm.
There's my sister has it from hand, and Luke's
And
lightsaber
Luke's
from
leftover.
hand.
Yeah, because if you're Chris, you've got to feel Brad's not coming at Luke. Like there's just
No,
no one left.
there's Princess Leia off reserve and free ride under celebration.
I mean, he's not playing
That's,
enforcement. He could be playing Mara, but
I
with
mean,
lightsaber.
Mara with lightsaber is fine with enforcement. She's an Imperial character.
I'm just trying to think if like
That
any
would be the
other.
only character, and I don't
Yeah.
think you really need that.
Nope.
There's Mirjik, who's just forfeit fodder. And I think you'll probably see a couple guys move to the garrison.
Yeah, I mean, I see
Or you
Tarkin and
just let the
Callus moving.
garrison sit there. Like, garrison's
I mean,
not doing anything until the end of Chris's next turn. So you just sit there and be like,
mhm.
well, he's blocking a drain. Like,
Yeah,
he's doing his job, frankly. So there we
he's
see it
literally being a
retreating.
wall of dudes.
Yeah, Ben is thinking hard about what he's doing there. So we see Lieutenant Pole get retrieved. And I think Brad might just pick a few up here.
Yeah,
34.
I think
I
my
forgot for a
commentating is
while,
going pretty well
sadly,
for
I would have
having
been
a
higher.
couple old fashions at dinner tonight.
So, and we got Berm subscribing with Prime for 34 months. He's almost got to that magical 3 year. And Chris retrieves the free ride and under celebration, which I think might be it gets him a force, but also it puts a 5 there.
Yeah, and if he put so he drew up, so he knows the card he put down with like my father, so he could have
Yeah.
put a 6 down.
So, but he's going to activate 14, so he'll have 2 cards above those 2.
In
So
an ability to
it's
shuffle his deck.
yeah, it's going to be a question of how many draws is he going to take at the executor? Like, I think that's what we
Mm-hmm.
have to assume is what's going to happen here is he's,
And Brad draws up to 12.
yeah, I mean, Brad can probably go to more than 12. I would be real surprised if Chris has a Grimcash in there,
Yeah.
but Brad might be holding for, like, Chris doesn't have to draw their fire back, but that would be the, like,
I mean, you could
that would
play
be
Obi
the,
to exchange, but for what purpose at this point?
yeah, I
I
mean,
think it hurts Chris more than helps at this point.
yeah, I don't think it would be super impactful in there. We see the drain of 2.
And I mean, Chris is down to a 6 card hand. We know Han is there. Has he found the Tidarium? And he lost.
He's lost Leia twice, but I think he retrieved
Yep.
her once. And there went the Monarch from
I
hand.
don't think he did.
He may not have. I'm
He lost Leia and lost Leia. Yeah, he's lost both his Leias.
okay. So he didn't retrieve Leia when he
No.
battled.
I mean, he could have an Unitab, but
Okay, so there's. I mean, if he's going to have to use Obi to get back Leia, that just feels all sorts of bad.
mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
and there's the masterful move from Brad to grab nothing. Gives up a verify, which okay.
I mean, if you're Chris, why not grab that? What are you waiting to grab at this
Yeah,
point? Command?
it might
Command?
be. It might be the command, and then. Although I guess I don't know. Like command, you're not worried about. If you have the my sister, you just play right through command and say okay.
Well, you have to have Leia in order for that to work.
Yeah, and that might be where he's drawing a couple, and he's gonna have to Obi. He's got to put the combo together. So, did he get there?
Yeah.
You know,
And
because that would be three battle destiny, and if he can do it without him getting capped, and there's the accelerate. I might consider grabbing that just to. All right.
I'm not crazy. I haven't seen a lot of 3PO use this game.
We really haven't. Like, I don't know if Chris has just said his hand is what he wants it to be or what. And yeah, Brad activates all of it, and we'll just see a drain of 4 here.
Yeah.
So there's Luke Rebel Scout from hand because, yeah, Luke is not dying.
Yep. Blaster deflection.
From reserve. And drain a 2 at Bespin. Like, Chris has got to be a little bit judicious with.
So the next card.
The Hear Me Baby and the free ride.
And
So
then
the Hear Me Baby was what he looped back.
Yep.
So he knew what those two were.
Mm-hmm.
There's Moff Gideon, who does nothing except now he adds a Battle Destiny with the Stormtrooper garrisons. There's Sergeant Carl.
I made an appearance finally.
You did. I mean, it took a while. You were hiding in the deck for a while, but, you know, you showed up.
Lodge
Are you going to be giving out autographed Sergeant Tarls at Nationals?
Yeah, that and Kendall is trying to turn that horrible, horrible photo he took of me in Travis's basement into the unofficial AI for Nationals.
I mean, you're going to have to be way more specific than that terrible picture because, you know.
Fair. It is the one where
few.
he snapped a photo and then he added force lightning to it, and it either could be force lightning or unlimited power. So we're not sure which one he's going to go with, but I look like I'm having a seizure in the photo. It's great. My wife looked at it and said, "This is the worst photo of you I have ever seen. What is going on?"
So we see.
And I said I was losing to court. Of course, I was having a seizure.
Brad just sends everybody but Vader to the docking bay.
Yeah.
And says okay, and Chris
activates
everything. So he can't
he's
docking bay transit. Like
he's
stuck there.
That's where the Hujix is going to come in. I think he's doing the exchange. He's probably going to go get Leia, and I think that's enough for him to play Han, Leia, Tidirium, go.
And then
block the drain in space.
And say, this is.
Can I get you? Can you
get me? You there because 12 is Tidirium's what 3, Han's 3, and Leia's 4, or Leia's 3.
Leia's 3.
Yeah, so you need 10 to get them down. So yeah, you've got the. I think Chris is probably was flustered because it took him a lot longer to put that back together than he would have liked.
Yep.
So.
And then the only battle that you would ever consider standing in is going to be the one at the spaceport docking bay to turn Tarkin off, so he'll just go after the swing.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
And honestly, you're fine with him going after the swing because you'll swing at somebody low. And
he's got to swing at the garrison.
Oh, yeah.
You got to swing at the garrison.
No, he can't swing at leaders if the garrison is alive. He could swing at Tarl. He could swing at Mirjik.
He is not swinging at me.
He probably swings at Mirjik. Mirjik's the highest forfeit. Mirjik forfeits for 6.
Yeah.
So you
I forgot Mirjik's not a leader.
Also Tarkin, see, and there's.
Now grab it.
Yeah, like, don't just let him accelerate. And maybe Chris is just worried about the command, but
command.
Why are you worried about command? You're either going to clear space this battle, or you're not clearing space.
I don't think he's clearing space because if I'm Brad, I just dump every dude I have onto the executor and say, okay.
Yeah, and that's I think the The fact that Chris had to telegraph that play
Hmm.
is very unfortunate.
And the fact that he loses a Jedi focus to a drain,
And there's Mar in the Decimator, so
just adding power.
adding power and a battle. Oh no, he's not drawing a battle
No,
destiny because
he's
it's
not
not
alone.
alone.
Yeah.
And there's Mir
Deidre.
Deidre Miro. So I think I would have liked her on the Executor just in case.
I don't think it's going to matter.
I mean, the thing is, you still have. I don't know. I mean, he'd have to get above 13 in space. I mean, in 3 draws, that's very possible. So we see the battle on the ground.
6,
We know he's got the Hujix.
12, yeah.
Like, Brad didn't even leave himself enough in reserve. He could draw 3, and he only left himself 2. So here's the swing at the Garrison. I don't like that play. I'd have gone after Mergic. So, and Tarkin lets the draws go. So we got 6-5. So
Hmm.
now Brad's gotta be concerned that, once we see this Battle Destiny, we know what Chris is drawing
Yeah, but in
in
space
space.
with Mara's ship, he has
You just have to clear
6,
13.
6, 7. No.
You have to clear 14. 14 knocks you down to just the Executor, and just the Executor is a bad spot to be in. And there, the Garrison gets clashed out. Okay.
He's not going to lose Ben. He's probably, I mean, you
Yeah,
just
like now he
forfeit
might be
Obi
able to
for
just
9.
lose Obi to cover
Hmm.
everything, but now he doesn't know what his draw is there.
Did he put a card back with, well, he
I
can still 3PO.
Yeah, he can 3PO, and there's the 4 for Battle Destiny.
Well,
Oh, it's
3PO
a
is
5
irrelevant at this point.
because it can't be modified with sand.
Correct.
And
And
there's a
then there's,
6. So
it's just Obi.
yeah, it's Obi and probably Mirjik.
Hmm.
Yep. And that's why I would have swung at Mirjik is like you're fine with wiping off the Garrison is cute. It doesn't really matter. You get one more turn of having Ben blocks that drain, and you'll get the you'll get your you'll have to Hujix it next turn. But it's really can you clear those 2 pilots and Mara's ship with the
We know
Tydirium?
it's going to be, I mean, I'm trying to go back. Did Chris like my father the last turn?
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna keep.
You can look for
I'm
that
gonna.
while I kind of
I'm gonna
narrate
doom
what we're
scroll
working
and
on.
go from there.
All right. So Chris is going to activate. Like we know he's got 6-5 as the bottom 2 cards. So he's just leaving 3. So he doesn't have a Lando or anybody else in there.
He did not.
Okay, so yeah, he doesn't know what that is necessarily. We'll see. He activates. I'm sure we'll see a drain of 2 here because why not? Yep. So, and really, I mean, this is just about game.
Yeah, because I mean, he can deploy Ray so he can get +1
Oh yeah.
onto the Tydirium.
Yep. So +1 to the
Because
total,
you're gonna have to probably lose her to
and then she'll
cover,
forfeit. She'll cover any battle damage.
right? Because the power difference, even if you draw 5, 5, 6,
I mean, if you
is
draw 6-6-5, you're at 22. You're going to be down
which
whatever
is
Brad's battle destiny is.
exactly.
And I could see Brad if he's got command. I mean, do you limit it and force Chris to have the Chris has got to have the my sister has it. So do you
Hmm.
just command to add one and be like, okay, well, I'm going to try and overflow. I'm going to cause battle damage. Like, I don't love that play, but at the same time, I don't necessarily hate it.
Yeah, because I mean, now you get to retrieve, so we're now
Yep.
down
You're
to
retrieving Ben or Obi-Wan.
it's 20 to 9, 14.
Yeah, so there's the
There's the
command, and he
command,
does use it to add, so he
which just
does.
makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is you just want to cause the battle damage. You're like, well, I
Hmm.
know I can't limit him.
Yep.
So, and then there's my sister has it to prevent the number of draws being limited, which I think might have been more a play it to use it because
Yeah,
you're
I
killing
mean,
the admirals this turn.
hmm
Like Chris has got to know what he's drawing here.
he doesn't know, no, but he's got to have a good idea.
Well, Bill pointed out he might actually know because he did forces with me many turns ago,
Hmm.
and I'm not sure he ever used that last force, so he probably does. As long as he. Oh, Chris says, "Do you mind if I?" He misread how the command was played,
Yeah.
so he wants to. He says, "Yeah, I don't want to play that. My sister has it because why? Like keep it in hand just in case."
Yep. And Brad being a good sportsman says go for it. I
Yeah,
mean,
and that's
yep.
the right. This is again one of the differences between get play and live plays. You don't always get to hear what your opponent does. Like in a live game, Brad would have said adding a destiny with command, and Chris would have been like, okay, and
Hmm.
wouldn't have been like, oh, I better play my sister has it. Like, and if you're not always reading, if you don't read that stack right away or you don't
Yep.
look at it, it's easy enough. So there's a 5. So he is going to have a 17, 18 in
Hmm.
total battle destiny, which will kill both pilots and either both pilots and Mara or just blow up the executor. And then you have Mara. I would not, I don't think I'd love that.
So you just lose Ray.
Yeah. So 2 and a 4 is 6. So you're down 6, and Ray covers all of it. So, all right. So he is going to go both pilots and Mara.
Hmm.
Um, I think you got to load up the executor next turn, but this is going to be real tight. Like,
Because who does he have left to deploy that would be a pilot that can go on
and
it?
there's
So
another Brad playing We Must Accelerate to go grab a We Must Accelerate. And Chris, oh, Chris grabbed command. I'm like, Chris still not
yeah,
grabbing it, but no,
he did.
he
He
grabbed
did.
with
He
command
was
long
he was
ago.
waiting
So
for, well, not long ago, this pre-revert.
yeah,
So I'm trying to think what other pilots he could have. Vandalay has been lost but regained.
yeah. I mean, he could have another. I mean, he could have a couple ISB pilots, but like
Yeah. And
you're
not
still giving up
saving.
3 battle destiny up
Mhm.
there, and I can't imagine he's got enough
And not keeping one
start
ISB
collab.
agent with Vader over just makes that a drain of 1. So fine.
Yeah, and he lost fly casual from hand, and then
Which he'll
used
retrieve.
Tydirium to retrieve right away.
Hmm.
So now he knows where a 6 is if he wants to go do that.
Hmm.
So there's General Navarre.
Navarre,
Yeah, like he can. I almost think Brad's got to not battle. Like
he can't.
you've got to let Chris battle, and there's no escape for evacs.
It's Ozzel.
Or yeah, Ozzel. That's and Ozzel in front of Ben.
I mean, if they spaceport, if they docking bay transit, they can't relocate to the executor in
No,
the same turn. Yeah, it takes a
he's
turn.
and there's sneak attack to add 6 to the total. Like Brad's going all in on this. I'm gonna beat down Ben.
And it's just going to cost him his Hujix. Cool.
Yeah, and I think Chris is perfectly content. Like okay, fine.
Yeah.
So Chris is gonna hit Midra.
So now we know it's 6 blank 6. There's bottom 3
It's
cards.
Well, he paid one to retrieve fly casual, so he knows it's blank 665.
6/6. Yeah.
So you're gonna blow up the executor.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the Dark Collab, which, yeah, I mean, unless
Cool.
Chris got rid of the Hujik somewhere and both of us missed it, like, there's a 4 for Battle Destiny. Okay, like, cool, you beat the tar out of Ben Solo, who says, all right.
He deserved it.
Ben is kind of a disrespectful kid. Like, I mean, he has no immunity for a reason.
I mean,
So,
he did his dad dirty.
he really did. That was, I mean, spoiler alert, if somebody hasn't seen that movie, like,
It's
you
10
know,
years old at this point.
and we have players who are barely older than that.
Fair.
Most of
If
them are
they're
on my team. I don't know why you're.
if they're still up listening to this on a school night,
Yeah. Frankly, if they're still up listening to this, I would honestly question their parenting a little, their parents a little bit, because, like, why would you expose your kids to me? Like, we all know what kind of person I
phrasing, phrasing.
am. um, I mean, I think Brad's just got to move a couple of his ISB agents over with Vader, and
Yep.
you're gonna have to try and turn this into a race and drain 2 and 2 and retrieve an ISB and
It,
get drained for 2 and 2 by Chris, but Chris will be doing it for free. Like,
mhm.
the math on this is going to get real tight real quick
Yeah, and it
because Chris has got 13 cards.
so
Yeah, you're right. It will
lost
be 3 and
piles.
2. No, because it'll be, so Brad's got 14. Brad's got 17.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to lose 3 this turn because he know, or no, he'll lose 2 this turn because
Mm-hmm.
he satisfies resistance. So he'll go down to 15.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll lose the Executor.
Yep.
And then he will drain for 4, which will put Chris down to 8. And Chris will, and then retrieve 1. Chris will drain for 5.
Yeah, Chris is going to
Which will,
retrieve one this battle, so that'll put
yeah,
him at.
it's going to be
Yeah.
real close.
Mm-hmm.
And the pain to drain might end up getting to Brad. Like, that might end up being that last turn is Brad can't drain for 4. He can only drain for
Yeah.
2. And that could be it. It's going to
Yeah.
be real tight.
Yeah, and the one character we haven't seen hit the table that could go to the 2/1 maybe is Yoda, but I
We
don't see
saw
him happen.
Yoda get lost, so I don't necessarily think that's going to happen.
Yeah, he
I
retrieves
can't imagine
when?
he's got multiple
Oh,
Yodas.
the Hoojiks.
Yeah, he retrieves the Hujix. He retrieves a card.
Yeah.
And here's 6/6 blank. It doesn't even matter what the blank is, as long as it doesn't matter. You've cleared
Yeah.
it, and if
4. Okay.
Brad draws super high, you just pitch Leia and say thanks.
I mean, what's super high?
I don't know. That's what
Yeah.
I didn't think he
He'd
was
have to draw
going
7.
to, but yeah, it was. So you lose the Navarre and the Executor.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris, yeah, I mean, Chris will pick up a couple because maybe he can find another guy to, yeah, throw down at the 2/1. I mean, that
Mm-hmm.
would be the other thing, Brad. I guess if Brad still could have held space, would have been throw an ISB agent or 2 at Endor and start
Mm-hmm.
hounding those drains of 2. So Brad activates everything, which, yep, that makes sense. Drain a 2. Chris loses Were You Looking For Me? And Luke Jedi Knight. And there's another drain of 2. And Chris loses Nabron.
Great card in this
And
matchup.
my sister has it. I mean, Nabron's a great card all the time, but
Not in this match.
not really useful in this matchup. So Brad's at 15 cards right now, 16 because he'll retrieve an ISB. Then he's going to lose 5 and go down to 11. Gain 1 at 12. Lose 5 to go to 7.
Yeah, trying to think. There's
I
no Skywalker left
think
for him to
I think
battle.
Brad might win this game and the
But will it be by
match.
5?
I think
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close.
I think it's going to be real close.
I think this is where, like, if
Well, I
Yoda
guess
isn't,
so. Gogolen's got 3 turns.
yeah, if he has Yoda that he can play down
Yeah,
in
if he's got
front
a
of,
Yoda to go to the 2-1,
yeah,
and just like you're not putting him in front of anybody, I don't think. I think you would put him at the 2-1
mm-hmm,
and drain. I think the risk of putting him in front of somebody is just real high.
yeah.
And Gogolen only activates 1, so maybe he does have a character there. Yeah, maybe he does have Yoda. Yoda comes down for 4.
Mm-hmm.
As there's Wolf, Tarkin, and I mean any Dumpty at this point, like
You lost
another
Wolf
Wolf.
from reserve. Tarkin. The fact he's pitching from reserve with his 5 card hand makes me. I don't know what 5 cards he has. He must have somebody to try and go to.
And the thing is, I don't know. Like even if he puts
You have
somebody
to
somewhere, he doesn't have the force to pay to drain.
right, and that's where things are going to get
It is
interesting.
not virtual Bespin, so yeah, anyone who deploys a Bespin costs -1, so it could be Obi-Wan maybe. So, and there's
Masterful.
Masterful to just cycle. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's no one Brad can put down to get any benefit out of, because if he puts a guy down, either he's not draining, which is bad,
Mm-hmm.
he's not retrieving, which is bad, and Chris just draws his 4, so he did not have and puts 1 back, or he's
So there's the 5. So
yeah.
next
So
turn,
Brad's down to
4.
so Brad will drain for 4
Mm-hmm. Retrieve 1.
and retrieve 1, and then he'll take 5, so he'll get 1 more drain of 4 through,
Mm-hmm.
which Chris will survive by 1 card, I think.
Mm-hmm.
2 cards. Because he's going to have 6 cards, or 7 cards. Yeah, so I think Chris ends up winning this game, but the math on this is super, super close. No, but yeah, he'll have 6 cards. He's got to lose 1 more here. There went Luke. So he's got
LSJK.
6
Yeah.
cards. But that gives him 1 more turn to survive. And then Brad drops below 5, which is all that matters. So I said at the start, whoever took Bespin at the end of the game was going to win. And so there's Lieutenant Pole. So he gives up the.
He turns on resistance, so now it's just 4. So
Yeah. Okay. And Chris activates 1. Now he's going to 3PO. I don't know what he's.
well, we're still on Brad's turn.
Oh, yeah. So he's 3POing for a card. So Brad's got 10 cards. He's going to lose 4 here.
Mm-hmm. So he'll be at 6 if he can't pay to drain next turn because he pitches the 2 from hand.
Yeah, he can pay to drain twice next turn. So
Mm-hmm.
Lieutenant Pole just said, but like Chris can also move Luke in front of Lieutenant Pole.
But you're draining at the other 2 sites, so it doesn't matter.
Well, but if you drain at those other 2 sites, then you can't move
Mm-hmm.
Lieutenant Pole away.
Mm-hmm.
And then you run the. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. You're not going to get
It doesn't matter.
overflowed.
Mm-mm.
Well, no,
I
you are
mean,
going to get overflowed, and he retrieves 1.
oh, that's true.
Because you're at 8 to 2 plus 7 in forfeit. Like any Battle Destiny he draws does overflow you.
Yep.
Like he would
So,
be able to draw 1.
yep. Chris activates everything.
Yep. And he'll drain for 4. So And Brad, I think, probably did the math on the resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And also, yeah, Berm points out he lost the retrieval as well, which is what I was saying. It's like, so he effectively lost 2 cards because he played pole and didn't retrieve to reduce a drain by 1.
And by playing pull there, he makes the best men drain only 1.
No, because he can still add 1 with the saber. Oh, he makes the Bestman system drain 1.
The
You're right.
best of system, yeah.
Okay, that actually does matter. Because now he can drain and move Lieutenant Pole away.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still, so he's got 7. He drains for 4 and retrieves 1, which puts him at 5. Oh gosh, this is
This is gonna hurt.
there's a lot of thinking involved here that I'm not smart enough to do. I I mean, Chris has got 2 cards in hand. If one of them's a character, I think you almost have to put it in front of Pole.
But I mean, it just drains at the other 2. The negative impact of the minus making it only him losing
Yeah,
3.
this is. I think we're back to. I think Brad might end up taking this on cumulative loss piles. This is going to be extremely close, and I think that's what Chris is trying to figure out
Because he can
right
still
now.
put
Is
1 card down in if you. I'm trying to think what a character you could have left. Lando's gone. Like I
and where
said,
are you going to put another character? Like, I guess you could throw a guy at the Executor docking bay. The blockade flagship is not -1 because it's opponent's drains at related
no, I mean
locations.
if
So
you have Yoda, then you put him down in front of Ozzel in that stack.
no, because you don't get Battle Destiny there. So you're at 13 to his
9 in a
9 at a
Destiny.
Destiny. I mean, I guess maybe, but you're probably losing, and you're still getting drained for 2 by Lieutenant Pole. Then,
Mm-hmm.
like, there's
I,
no good answer here. So
I mean, you could put Yoda down in front of Pole, eat the 6, and then battle next
yeah,
turn. But
so he drops him to
or sorry,
5
4.
mil, which is what we're talking about. Is he can drop him to 5 and then get drained out, but he loses on lost piles because he had more cards lost in the first game. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you have a character, if you have a character in hand, yep, there's Obi in front of
Obi.
Pole, and now you battle Pole
Mm-hmm.
because he has to then lose Pole,
Yep.
and then you now drain for enough to kill him. Like
Yep.
that's the math
Yep.
because you still lose 4 to the drain, which gives you 1 card, but now you drain him for 3, 4, 5, 6, and that absolutely. And
And
Brad
Kippel concedes.
conceded as he did the math as well.
Yep.
Wow, those were really, really lots of thinking games. Awesome job by Chris Gogolen making it into the top 4. Awesome job by Brad making top 8 in all 3 online events this month. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Brad is an absolute beast. So now that we got those, just because I'm curious, we do have Jelson versus Shaw going on. You up for a little bit of free Star Wars?
I can stay on for a little bit. We see Shadow Collective into TRM.
Yep. So I'm just gonna put that up here on the. Okay, Brad. Bill is saying it's been a good game, and we'll want to do the full replay, and we certainly
Yep.
can. But hey, why not let the people watch some live, and we can do a replay later. So I will leave the. I'll fix this so Ryan
I
Jelson
think
is
I
live
think
right
Bill
now.
is also saying I'm probably too dumb to commentate this game. which I agree with, Bill.
Love how both guys, I got to read their player names on here because I don't know the random numbers. Six, 7, 9, 3. All right.
Jumping into this, it looks like there was a battle at Gaul that did not go Greg's way.
Yeah, this is, I mean, Jelson's playing his Thriller mains deck, and he's kind of looking like he's in a pretty good spot here. Like, Jelson's Jelson's in a pretty good spot here. Greg doesn't have a ton going on.
Yeah.
Congrats on advancing, Chris. You'll watch the replay and hear us question a lot of what you did, but
Hey,
it
I was
definitely
with you on
worked
the
out.
Vader to the I was with you on the Vader to the beach thing.
Nobody in chat was, nobody else was, but Carl, Kevin is holding on to that one for dear life. Like, the Hall of Famer agreed with my idea once, so.
Once is all it takes.
So, and it looks like it is Jelson's turn. Ryan's down a little bit in total force. I mean, he's got 19 cards to Greg's 24. Greg's got one more force to lose here. Yeah, Chris, there's definitely like, but a lot of these plays, and you know it as well. You've done a lot of streaming. Like, it's hard sometimes as a streamer without being able to see the hand to know, like, oh, I really don't like that play. You know, when you lost Maul, I was like, I didn't like seeing you lose Maul, but I didn't know you had another Maul in hand where, okay, now that actually becomes the right play.
Also, can
So
we talk about oh, sorry, go ahead.
we can talk about this game. I'm just, killing that a little bit as we see the drain go through at the West Gallery and Laser Cannon Battery get lost. Chewy with Bowcaster comes down to hang out. Is Chewy one of the ones that makes it a drain plus there now? Yep. So it's
Yes,
a
the
smuggler, so
smuggler.
now it'll be a drain of 4.
Mm-hmm.
And the battle at Gaul, where
With
he's got
Shizor,
Akbar, and who's the other jump on there? Oh, Hera
Hera.
against Shizor on the first light. So it's first light's drawing 1 and adding 2 to the total, but that doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. And I can't imagine Ryan is not drawing enough to clear the first light. Like, there's no way.
No.
And Greg going for a reshuffle as he must have known what was up there and didn't like it.
Open a high roll of 7, which the thing I was going to talk about is that the beautiful foils that we have for the working much more closely. That's been a
That's
fun.
going to be the foil for.
No, not for national. It's one of
Oh.
the league foils for this year
Oh, nice.
in the league kit.
Yeah, I'm going to Bespin Regionals on Saturday, which is a league event for us up here in Bespin.
Yeah.
And yeah, Greg draws 4, which is immaterial, and loses everything in space.
Mm-hmm. And when we
Yeah.
jumped in, it did look like he had already lost Zuckus, Forlom, and Mist Hunter as well. I think I saw that in the lost pile.
Yeah, this is, and Ryan's going to pick a couple up and says, okay, we've got this. Like, Greg's got to pay to drain. Yeah, Greg's playing match play.
Mm-hmm.
It's grinded out as much as I can because next turn I'm getting drained for 6. And you can only handle that for so long.
Yep.
So.
He loses a speak.
And so he only drained for 1. He did not. Oh, it's not Maul's Saber. It's a blaster.
Yeah.
And he
And
uses.
I imagine the ping.
Yep. And I think that'll probably be the Were You Looking for Me? Oh,
But
Honor.
honor.
Oh. Because he used the virtual no escape. Ooh,
Yep.
ouch. That's a thing. And he
That
moves Maul to
actually,
block the drain of 4.
and says cool.
That's a choice. Like
Well, he gonna get beat up on.
he's like I mean, I'm assuming it's Din. I mean, you're gonna target with Din and then make things go badly. Like
Mm-hmm.
you probably have stunning leader maybe to
That's
cancel
my
the
guess
battle
is that
and
he has a stunning and just hoping that Ryan doesn't have a sorry about the mess or
yeah, like stunning. Okay, you block the drain for a turn, but you're no longer doing any damage. So I'm not sure that you weren't better if you're trying to just grind differential to or sixth, possibly seventh sense. Had there been that many played? And we see, yep, he uses Din to target Maul. And there's General Leia to retrieve 1
just when you start the battle, even if it's
when you
stunning,
start
you
the
get to
battle.
retrieve.
Yep. So that's a thing.
And he's gonna not pay for it
Oh,
because
wounded
oh
warrior to
noise.
cancel Leia's game text. Okay.
I just
That's
noticed Greg doesn't have secret plans out, so I assume he's
he's
shield
got
busted.
yeah, because he's got 4 shields out. I mean, he had coward, but coward isn't going to do anything.
Yeah.
So no retrieval. I imagine Greg is going to just lose this because otherwise you'd have just taken the drain and drawn up. There is the
There's
stunning
the
leader.
stunning.
Yep. So everybody but Chewie's excluded. And Chewie
Man, the
stands
times
there
that
and
you can go and just like beat down
growls
on
at
Chewie when that
nothingness.
happens.
So I've actually done the reverse. I've had it happen now in a couple different games against Court where they stunning and it's like, okay, well now it's Chewie against Greedo and Zam, so I'm gonna hit one of them and you're gonna lose a couple force. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's Chewie's still kind of scary, just standing there, like, all right, I'm gonna kill something. And Greg activates all of it. Greg might just drop now. Nope. Greg says, I'm gonna make a stand here. And he puts down Rook, who does things.
Shadow collective
Arm with the
thing.
blaster. Your leaders are immune to bladder proficiency and Clash of Sabers. And if he flips, you can do things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Greg, Bill definitely beat up my CO Bibble once. There's a lot of good decks for jumping in. I see in chat we got somebody who's been a couple of years since he played, and the username looks familiar. I think I've seen you on the forums or something before. Um, honestly, the all of the GEMPC decks from the first 3 rounds were in. There's another wounded warrior. Greg says you are not retrieving with Leia.
If you're about to say all of the decks from the GEMPC are viable, he's absolutely right with except one exception.
Yeah, I played a prophet that was terrible. Don't do that. That's why I got
Oh,
bounced in the
with
first round.
two exceptions. Yeah, I got bounced in the round too. Uh, there's this really, really cool objective. Not sure if you've ever heard of it. It's called Hidden Base. And let me tell you, there's this version of it where you have B-Wing bombers, and they can do some pretty amazing things. Maybe don't play that deck. Anything else, fine. I'm kidding.
Don't play that deck if you don't want your friends to hate you. That was well, one of the retro event a few years ago in the Minnesota Snownami Nationals.
You mean the Thunder Snow?
Yep, the Thunder Snow. I played speeders, sand whirls, inserts for the Dust Star 2 Bermuda Dust Star 2 event, and John Carr, who had flown up from Florida just to play in the retro event, asked about it afterwards and asked for a list, and I, before turning it over, made him promise he would not play it against people as he's trying to build a community down there in Florida. As like, dude, people won't want to come play with you. Like, this is not there's nothing good or pure about this deck. It's just mean and you should feel bad. So Ryan's just playing around with this stuff. He used Din again to target I think he targeted Maul again.
Yep. Are we seeing a
And oh no, he
fourth
targeted Rook.
stunning leader?
I
Fourth
mean,
stunning leader?
Stunning Leader now gives you Rook against Chewie, which seems bad. So,
No.
defensive fire first. I would actually be a big fan of the defensive fire into Stunning Leader combo.
Mm-hmm.
Like defensive fire to kill off Luke, and Greg showing why he's a Hall of
Which
Famer. I'm sure he had that track. There's an 8.
I don't know how he had it tracked, but yes.
Uh, he tracks lots of things, and now he can Rook to look at the top 2 and take one. Like, Greg's trying to reduce diff here. Like, he's doing everything he can, and maybe he's hoping to find a Stunning Leader that way. There's the defensive fire into used. He does not find a Stunning Leader, so he might kill some guys, but this is not going to end well.
No. I mean,
It,
he can put the 2 um, blasters back. Cool. If he has a
yeah,
Gick, fine, but he's doing no damage.
yeah, like he's going to
He's got to hit
clear
Chewie.
4 guys.
If he hits Chewie, then
I don't think it matters who he hits. Like,
well, it turns into a drain of 1.
yeah, but it's a drain of 1 when you have no cards on table. Like, and you have 10 cards down. Like, turning it into a drain of 1 just slows your rate of death. It doesn't actually keep you alive. Although I do agree that hitting Chewie might be the best play. Like, I think you hit Chewie, I think you hit Din. And I think if you're Ryan, you say, okay, I'm going to let you send Rook to use and retrieve 2 instead of 1. Um, like, you're going to cost him 4 guys. Like, Ryan's going to be down to, probably just, like, if you're only going to keep 1 guy, I think it's got to be Qui-Gon.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Leia keeps getting wounded warriored. Like,
That he's gonna have to use the Maul ad to hit her.
yep, which is fine. So he will, and
There it is. Yep.
he will hit her. I mean, so none of them can be used to satisfy attrition. So you're going to lose Din to the attrition. But the thing is, he's going to get to use Din
Mm-hmm.
to retrieve first. There's a 5 for the Destiny to total power. And 3 for first battle Destiny from Ryan. Just okay, whatever. It's and a 3 for the second battle Destiny, which still is the okay, whatever. Total battle
Well, I mean, he knows where
CCG.
Corn is now, so he can like track him around. So
So that's a
6.
6 for Battle Destiny. He can't maul it up 1, which I think he would have liked to, because then he would have forced him to leave just Jin or
Yep.
just Din. But he's fine with this. Like, all he can do here is actually he's going to be able to stop the Din retrieval.
Mm-hmm. Because he'll be able to dirtle his way through it.
Yep. And I mean, if you're Ryan, honestly, if you're Ryan, he's not gonna.
I
I
would
would
have
have,
put Ryan on a choice and
I,
see if he would have lost Qui-Gon.
and I think I would have considered it if I'm Ryan.
Because the
Like, you've got
only
3 cards in hand.
the only card in Greg's deck where Din wouldn't add a Destiny is Ventress.
Yeah. And then you put him on, he's got to have
Mm-hmm.
Ventress. And there's the
Yeah.
Gick. So, oh, Bill says she died.
Of course she did.
And there's a dark time to ping for 1 that doesn't ping for 1 because
Honor.
Greg played the wrong no escape. Um,
Maybe he was worried about,
Landing
getting
Claw.
landing clawed.
I mean, you're playing against Jelson. Like, Landing Claw is definitely in his wheelhouse. Ryan certainly hangs out and chats with Batmouse a lot, and Landing Claw is 110% in Batmouse's wheelhouse. So I guess
Batmouse coming to Ohio.
that was the plan. So
He's
there's
booked a
Hondo.
flight.
So we get Hondo going down there. I assume he's going to get a gun. Nope. And
Well, he
Greg's going to have
activated
to
both
draw
the
something.
guns.
Yeah, he activated
So,
both guns, and that was.
so
I
now if you're Ryan, you know where Corrin is. You can activate down to, it should be
yeah, activate down to Corrin.
8. Should be the 8th card down.
Go get Corrin. Corrin drops on Hondo, and
Or not.
so we're going to see first Arena 3.
Yep.
So we're 1-1 and 1. So we lose the force push from hand, working much more closely from hand. We know he's got a 7 on top, so. Oh, does he have another Luke in hand? Bill's like,
It
he's
makes
got Luke.
sense.
I mean,
Here's the
there's
Java
Java's
twerps.
twerps to retrieve 1. Okay.
So you replace the 6 with the 7.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's a choice.
it gives you a 7 to track. You know, you've got the 7 there. You
Yeah.
can try and do something. Yeah, and that might be why he didn't bother with going to get.
Yeah.
But if that is the 7 Greg's got on there, which I think it is, he's still going to lose Luke. Although he's
The
might be causing
saber
overflow
was.
while he does it. So, oh,
There's the second saber.
and that's also the retrieval saber.
Mm-hmm.
So you hit with Ray's lightsaber and retrieve 1.
Yep.
I think he's going to
Don't
pick the
choose a
7.
0.
Choose the 0. YOLO it.
Because you know the 4 would hit.
Yeah, so choose
It'd
the
be
0
the
just for the
ultimate.
lulz. Ryan does not have the same sense of fun you and I do.
Well, he's a better sportsman. Good in balance.
All right. To Honor.
Oh, I forgot honor. It doesn't work.
Holy
Oh,
Honor is putting in so much work.
I got yelled at by people because I was trying to find a way to jam insight and honor into like every deck possible.
And Honor is, oof, that was not the 7 I thought it was. So,
This is gonna be game.
yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah,
Greg's just peeling.
you still got
Greg
3
can't
more.
peel everything.
Nah,
So,
it's just gonna be Ryan by 16.
yep. Unless one of those 5 cards in Greg's hand is a limited resources. Come on, Greg. You know what Daddy wants, Greg. Show me limited resources. It's not. Darn it. Actually, Honor would have reduced the limited resources by 2 as well.
Yes.
Good golly. All right, so Ryan wins by 16, 18 to 38 in Lost. Holy cowabunga. And I believe they're playing game 2 tomorrow night, was
I
what I
think that
thought.
was the rumor. Yep.
That was what I thought I heard. So, well, thank you for joining me for the extra free. Oh, now it looks like maybe Wednesday,
Okay.
as we see in chat. I don't know who's streaming Wednesday. That is not me. Um, thank you for the extra free Star Wars. Awesome to hang out with you for the evening. Thank you everybody for watching. Congratulations to Chris Gogolen for advancing to the top 4.
Way to go, Steve. Just kidding.
I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. I hope everybody was in chat, everybody who's listening, everybody who's hanging out. Come to Ohio. Come to Nationals. It is going to be an absolute blast. Oh, are they? Are we going to see another game right away? Oh my goodness.
Uh,
If you need to go, You go. Don't feel
Yeah.
bad. It looks like they're going to take a few minutes. I'm going to take a second. So it's 38, 18, and Ryan by 16. So I'm going to take a minute here. And I will stop the stream and then restart it just so we can get all this in. And thank you for joining me, Carl. Go have a nice.
I think I can stay on for the second one. I doubt it's going to be a long game.
I would expect you're right, but I am going to end the stream for a second because I got to go grab a little bit of water. Talking
Yep.
for 2.5 hours and doing that. So we will restart the stream here in a second, folks. Stand by.